This is Game Changers with Anil Candola and Luke Henry.
Hello. Welcome back to Game Changers. This is the sporting show that lives live on Colourful Radio, the show that is powered by the wonderful TalkSport, the biggest sports radio station in the world. My name is Anil Candola, and to my left is the wonderful, the all singing, the all dancing, the all very happy Gooner, Luke Henry.
Hello, mate.
You've had a good week, haven't you?
Oh.
Yeah. Less said about that, the better. Thanks. So much to come on show 31.
Woo.
You know what they say about 31? Life starts at 31.
So we're only just starting.
We're only just starting. There you go. See? I sort of did that, but it was all right. You did it. Earpieces are falling out, which is always a good sign, isn't it? For the next 2 hours. Make sure you stick around because it may be a new era for Game Changers as we live on YouTube. So if you're not already on YouTube, head over now to www.youtube.com/@colourfultv. And as I said, it's a new era for us on YouTube. But will this finally be the new era for Arsenal as the title race hots up and the pressure mounts back on City? We will get Luke Henry's opinion on the latest moving and shaking about. We will also bring you all the latest from the relegation battle as Tottenham right now are in action against Aston Villa, looking to make the most out of West Ham's defeat yesterday. We will discuss everything there is to know about the world of football, about the world of sport. We've got so much to get through, and the small matter of Manchester United once again reclaiming the biggest team in the country status after they smashed Liverpool 3-2. We will get into all of that. We will have your favourite features, winners and losers, track of the week. We will have you covered. So as the famous Luke Henry says, pop the kettle on, stick the biscuits in the tea if you want to.
Well, don't stick them in.
No. Pop. Dip the biscuits in the tea and stick around because we've got a great show, as we always do. This show is powered by TalkSport and lives on Colourful Radio. So from now until 9 p.m, lock in, because this is Game Changers.
Boogie nights. Heatwave. Boogie nights. Go and see them.
What are you saying about the Ralphie today, Luke?
Go and see Heatwave on the 11th of July.
What?
Boogie Town.
Oh,
Get to know.
what?
Odyssey as well included there. Quite a few acts.
Yeah.
Great song. Boogie nights.
Yeah. Shout out that song.
Yeah, you have
Boogie
no
nights.
go gangsters. When the gangsters of the groove gonna take.
Speaking
it
of
out
gangsters,
on you.
Speaking of gangster, saw my new Ralphie. It's not new, but what do you reckon?
It's giving more
What?
ice cream.
What
man,
do you mean,
rather-
ice cream van?
rather than gangsters of the groove. It's nice, mate. At least the partnership's going on.
Yeah. We're back in talks.
Are we?
Yeah, Ralphie and I, back in talks, mate. He was obviously busy.
How did the conversation go?
We're short.
Go on, what did you say?
I'm short.
Oh, we've got time. We've got nearly an hour and 55
Nah, we
minutes.
haven't got much time.
No,
we haven't got much time to fit everything in.
No, generally, I've just looked at the running order. We've got time. mate.
No, I've just checked. That's it. Then, yeah, and then, yeah. One sec.
Yeah, so what did they say?
Oh, no, we haven't got enough time.
Right, so...
I'm really sorry, we haven't got any time.
No, I just want to know.
Well, that was a conversation for sure. Anyway, Luke Henry.
How's your week been, mate?
Yeah, my week's been quite good, actually. So much to get through, obviously, like we said. Not
Yeah,
just
that's why
with
you got to talk about Ralph.
Yeah, that's why we're on. Bit of Ralph, so we ain't got time to talk about Ralph. But yesterday
so
was...
going to get... Sorry, just quickly, Game Changers uniform at all? Are we going to get...
merch. Game Changers merch.
Is this what your whole partnership
Oh,
was about?
no, this is completely selfish. I could care less about you, about the show, but I need this partnership for myself.
Yeah, so how's it going?
Yeah, so much to go through, of course, over the next 2 hours on Game Changers live on the wonderful Colourful Radio. Yeah, really good week, mate, as it always is. Really busy week. Obviously started off the week at the SJAs. Not congratulations. I'm not really sure why I was invited because I wasn't nominated for anything. But they know who the life and soul of the party is. This guy.
I'm not sure they do.
What?
No.
What do you mean?
Sorry, life and soul of the party. They wouldn't have invited you.
No, they knew. They knew.
I don't think
this
they
guy, This guy knows how to get the party started.
Your outfit was good.
Why are you laughing?
I'm just saying.
I could honestly
saying.
wear the best suit in the world, and
All
I'd
I
still
say
get
is
hammered
Christmas
for it.
come. Christmas came early.
Yeah, for the ladies.
Santa's little helper in those green trousers.
Yeah, the green suit. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
But yeah, started off there. Saturday yesterday was a bit of an emotional one. I know we'll speak about it a little bit later on in the show, but I was obviously reporting it was the final day of the regular EFL season again, which we'll speak about a little bit later on in the show. But yeah, it was the final game for me of the season, unless obviously anything else crops up, but I don't think it will. So yeah, it was quite emotional. I finished the Northampton versus Plymouth game, interviewed the managers after, and I just took a minute just to look at the pitch. And I just thought, wow, what a really, really good season for me. Not necessarily to my output, but just the fact that I've actually started it.
Yeah,
so,
very good, mate.
Really, really good. However, I don't think my week has been as good as yours.
It's taken me here, there, and everywhere.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
Madrid.
Yeah.
Madrid to what do you call the
Carpet.
The carpet.
The
Madrid,
Emirates.
from Madrid to the carpet. From Catalan to the carpet.
Yeah, from Madrid to Barcelona, to fly back to Barcelona, to be here, back in straight into work on Thursday. It's what we
it's
do.
a tough life, isn't it?
It's a tough life, isn't it? Went out on Friday.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
Oh, what did you do on Friday then, you filthy animal?
Just made my uni mate for a couple of drinks.
Who is she?
He's
I don't judge.
No, Man United
I don't
fan.
judge.
Jack. He listens to the show. He actually watches. Yeah,
Shout out Jack. Is he watching
Shout out
that?
Mirko. Yeah, Man United fan.
Mirko?
Yeah, actually brought you up in conversation. He says about Game Changers. He said, really good show. I reckon I'll get on with your co-host.
Nice.
He said, I said, yeah, you two. Yeah.
The boy knows.
The boy does know.
Boy knows.
Yeah.
Shout out Mirko. I heard you got approached. I heard the swarms of Game Changers fans have gone international.
Oh gosh, yes.
What happened there, mate?
This is true and unbelievable. So as I am in the Plaza de Mayor.
Why have you got to do this?
Because it's what it's called.
Okay, fine.
You know when you're in the car, you go, hello mate, what time are you going to be at the pub? This was, hello mate, what time are you going to be at the Plaza de Mayor?
Okay,
very nice.
Yeah,
We're all out
brilliant,
there having a beer or whatnot. Anyway, I'm minding my own business, and then a couple of guys come over and they said to me, hello mate, do you work for TalkSport? And I said, yeah, I do. Second question, no word of a lie. Do you know Anil Candola? I promise you that. And I was like, yeah, I do. What on earth's going on here? It's 4:30 in the afternoon. I'm in Madrid and Game Changers has gone global. And I messaged you straight away, didn't I? Two lads from Coventry happen to know you. I felt sorry for them.
What are you doing?
No, generally. I said, oh, you know Anil Candola? I went, yeah. I went, oh, sorry about that.
What?
Feelings mutual. Yeah, I know.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. But that was a short sweet. Then we had a conversation about Arsenal. They were more important stuff.
Oh, they're Arsenal fans?
No, they were just in Madrid, mate.
They could have been Atletico fans.
They could, well,
or just non-Arsenal fans, which everyone in the country was.
yeah, but they're in the Plaza de Mayor, and that's where that's where the Arsenal fans took over. The Plaza de Mayor. So yeah, very,
There we go.
very
See, mate,
funny.
that's what we do.
Very
That's what we
funny.
do, see?
So Game Changers is
global.
going abroad. So now, when I was out there, I thought, I can tap into this market.
Yeah.
So now, Game Changers is going out every Sunday
Madrid.
live in Madrid.
Where?
The Plaza de Mayor.
Hey!
Hey!
Get it.
It's not, by the way, not yet.
It's not, yeah. We're still
As soon as
working.
you have your talks with Ralph, and I'll have my talks with my Spanish people,
And the...
Madrid, and the Plaza de Mayor.
What, did you have to say it like that, or?
Sorry,
The Plaza de Mayor.
The Plaza de Mayor. That's Italian now.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Anyway, should we move on?
Well, we're
So
actually,
much to get through.
we're actually going to Italy.
Are we?
No, we're not.
No, okay, yeah, brilliant. Yeah, another place we're not going to. But anyway,
Go on.
should we just get into it now? It's been 10 minutes.
Oh,
we need to start speaking about you-know-what. The big story of the weekend.
Yeah, we've talked about it. The Ralph thing, great. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm still...
For anyone on YouTube, right, just have a little look. Have a look at the little Ralphie piece. Come on. Anyone can wear black,
Yeah, very...
right? Anyone can pull that off.
Yep,
Very simple.
thanks.
Do you know what's really funny? Adam Bradley in there looking at his clothes to see what colour he's got
Yeah.
on. Guess what colour he's got on?
Not yellow.
Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone can look good in black. Yeah, Adam, you do look good, mate, but it's safe. Get a guy in this lovely number.
Yeah. No, that...
Strong piece.
We let you do it.
Yeah,
so we don't have to.
Well, in other words, I'm back. And you know who else is back? Man United. We can now hear exclusively on how the big story of the weekend sounded across the TalkSport network as Manchester United get back on top of the country.
There's nothing like Manchester United against Liverpool.
6 on the clock, Manchester United 1, Liverpool 0, and it's Mateus Cunha. Maybe 2 now, it is 2! And Benjamin Sesko has got his goal! Manchester United 2, Liverpool 1, and it's come from Dominic Szoboszlai. Well, it's Manchester United 2, Liverpool 2, and Cody Gakpo is the man who's put the ball in the back of United's net. Manchester United 3, Liverpool 2, and it came from Kobbie Mainoo.
Bosh, in other words. Have a bit of that. What are you doing on your phone?
I'm just putting our plug out, mate.
Yeah, it's a bit low. Yeah, might as well. Why don't you just put it on at 9?
Oh, we'll do that.
Put it on at 9.
Well,
plug
why
for the
not?
show.
Because you never know, because it's an hour back in Spain, so they'll come back here to it, so 9 till 10 in the Plaza de Mayor.
It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work because they're an hour behind. That they are, you know. It's still, the show will still be done.
Yeah, but it won't be because it'll be 9 o'clock.
But guess what?
Go on.
If you do miss the show, don't worry, because live on YouTube, over on Colourful TV, you can watch the whole show back. But that's not to say you should just tune off and watch it later. Oh, no, we're not an on-demand kind of show. Stick with us, because it's going to be a barnstormer. And we have to start with Man United beating Liverpool. Of course we do.
Do we really
I think there's so much to go off here. Look, Liverpool are absolutely atrocious. I was having a conversation with someone and I said that they are the worst Premier League defending champions of all time. And they replied to me saying, well, you won the league and then you finished 8th the following season. I think that's absolute garbage, because Man United went from Sir Alex Ferguson to David Moyes, right? With Liverpool, they won the league, gave the bloke £500 million, and they've got worse. How can you just be dismantled by Man United in that way? I know that they got back into the game for a large part, given the fact there were a few pretty unforgivable mistakes from the Manchester United defence. But before we continue, there has been a massive goal at Villa Park,
that is big.
because on the 12th minute for Tottenham Hotspur, Conor Gallagher has put Spurs ahead. So as it stands, Tottenham, after weeks of being in the relegation zone, will claw out of the drop zone. It is only 12 minutes gone at Villa Park, but it's Tottenham who lead, Luke Henry.
They were just never going to go down, were they?
Well, come on, mate. There's a lot of time left.
No, but it's just so obvious they're not going to go down.
There's a lot of time left.
There is a lot of time left. I haven't seen the goal, Conor Gallagher, but I've got to say,
he's on the edge of the box there. The ball's come from about 30, 40 yards out. He's taken a touch and he's walloped it across the ground into the bottom left-hand corner. And that is a phenomenal goal. You can't deny that.
Well, I can't, but I think
it's just gone a bit slow, but I think the accuracy of it is the reason why it's beaten the Aston Villa goalkeeper.
Techers.
Of course, Techers. But we will keep you right across that anyway, back on some more
huge
important
goal,
things.
though. That is massive.
Well, we'll see how it pans out.
If they win,
5 minutes.
Mate,
if they win, I think that's done. I think their safety is complete.
Well, they won't beat Chelsea.
Yeah, Conor Gallagher's a good-looking bloke, isn't he? Anyway, we'll get back to Conor Gallagher. And speaking of good-looking blokes...
Thanks, mate.
Anyway, Mark Carrick spoke to TalkSport after the game, and he was obviously asked about Kobbie Mainoo. Now, massive legend, I think, already, future legend. Well, cult hero.
Easy target.
He's already scored 2 winning goals against Liverpool. That would already put you in. Federico Maceda's a legend.
He's not. He's just an iconic moment in Premier League history. Relax on the word legend.
Anyway, we can hear about Mark Carrick speaking about legend, and this is exactly what he had to say, speaking to TalkSport's Mickey Gray.
I've known Kobbie a long time. I've coached him a few times when I was here the first time, and he was a lot younger, so he's everything about this club, what we want it to be. You know, he's been here, he's through it. You're going to have ups and downs as a player. It's going to be challenging times, there's going to be good times, and hopefully there's more good times for him. But at the moment, he's playing so well. I think he's taken his game to another level over the last couple of weeks, especially. And confidence is a part of that. Responsibility is part of that, and he's a big part of what we do. So for him to score the winner against Liverpool to put us in the position was obviously very special for him.
There we go. You can hear Mark Carrick there. Little words, not just on Kobbie Mainoo. We'll speak about him a little bit later. What a player. I cannot believe Ruben Amorim nearly destroyed that boy's career. It's very simple. Just put him on the pitch and you see what he can do. I genuinely think he's not only the future Manchester United captain, but I also think he's England captain material as well. The man leads by example. None of this nonsense talking or performing for the cameras and the crowds. He just gets on with it and he performs as good as he does for Manchester United. Then let's give him his plaudits. But Mark Carrick, should he get the job?
Yeah, I do. I do think he should get the job.
Before you carry on, do you not think the fact that you hesitated would indicate that it should be a no?
No, the reason why I hesitated was because I was thinking about that first half performance, and I thought you were very good, and I thought you blew Liverpool away. But I thought Liverpool did have the ball in certain moments that didn't really threaten Man United. But in the second half, when the game changed...
game changers live on Colourful Radio, where the points matter
on
and off
the pitch. It's like we do this for the last 31 weeks.
Yeah.
No, you always have to look at your manager in that situation. What are you going to do? How are you going to change it? And what I like about Manchester United now, and Luke Shaw said it as well in the post-match interview that we could potentially hear later on, he said, with this Man United team, we always feel like we're going to score, and we always feel like we're going to win. And that is the United DNA of old. Even though you're 2-2, you're always thinking about how we can get back in front. Under Ruben Amorim, that would have probably been, let's sit in, let's get this to 2-2, and maybe probably lose the game 3-2. So I think you've got a manager there that obviously understands the ethos of being with the club and you know, being there for a considerable part of his career. But I've been saying this during the week, and I don't think the manager is the biggest problem or the biggest issue at Manchester United. I think this summer is so big from the recruitment.
Oh, yeah.
And I think if you get it right with the fullbacks, and I think you need a couple of midfielders in there, I really do. I think Man United could have a really, really, really strong season next season. I think Carrick, there's no reason why you shouldn't give Carrick the job. And you're a Man United fan, you know more than me. I know what United fans are going to do. They're going to compare it to Ole. They're going to compare it the situation. Both former players, both loved and adored by the fans. I don't want to go through that roller coaster again. But this time does feel a little bit different. Don't forget, Carrick has got very good experience managing Middlesbrough. He's actually a very, very good coach, whether you take that on board or not. And he has done very well since he's been there.
He's done very well.
He's beaten Chelsea, he's beaten Liverpool, he's beaten City, he's beaten Arsenal, and he's guaranteed you Champions League football with 3 games to go. When you've got to ask yourself, what more could he have done? Now, the only thing is, if the hierarchy at Manchester United, oh my goodness me, Spurs have just hit the post, we'll come back to that in a minute, but if the hierarchy have their man in charge or have their man in mind, then they have to go for him. If they do not have that man in mind, go with Carrick. Because what they did was they had their man with Ruben Amorim. They didn't listen to their man and said, can I come at the start of the season? They went, no, we want you now. We'll pay you more money to come now. He can't say no to a job like Manchester United, but he wasn't ready for it in terms of if he wasn't prepared to come in in that moment in time. They have to get this right.
They have to.
And I think if they don't have a real candidate that's identified for the job, give it to Carrick. Yeah. And I generally think you can. I think that attack will win you football matches. That attack will win you lots of football matches. There needs to be improvement in the back line. There needs to be some replacements. Ugarte's going to go. Casemiro's obviously leaving. So it's quite a simple recruitment process for me in the summer about your midfield. And I personally think you need to upgrade on your fullbacks.
Yeah.
Then you've got a good team there. Don't forget you've got Champions League and need to raise the floor. It's all about upstairs.
Yeah.
They have to get this right. If they don't, I think they could set you back.
Yeah, well, the story of the life of Manchester United fans, isn't it? The fact that they're being set back by the ownership and the people who are making the decisions, but we can save that conversation for another time. You look at the situation with Manchester United and Michael Carrick in particular. Now, look, he's brought the feel-good factor. I just don't know. And, of course, as you've said, you can't tarnish every manager who's potentially going to take over the job by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because that would be unfair to potential candidates. Yeah. But I do think you need to learn from the past. I think you need to make sure that you aren't defined by your past, but you also learn from the mistakes that you've made. Now, I think it's very different between Solskjaer and Carrick. I think Carrick's a way better manager. He understands English football a lot better than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I think if we're being perfectly brutal and honest, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't score that goal back in 1999, he never would have got the job at Manchester United. But again, another conversation for another time. Should Michael Carrick get the Manchester United job? Now, I don't think this is as black and white as so many other names, such as Gareth Southgate, such as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. All of these types of names that are very polarising, to say the least. Yes, we should get them, or absolutely never should we even look at that man. Michael Carrick's a bit of a different situation here, because I think he's a good manager. I think he's reliable. I don't think he's going to give you the massive backstory headlines the same way Ruben Amorim did, which sometimes can help the Manchester United squad, but more or less often it can hinder them. I think with Carrick, he's a good manager. He's a stable pair of hands with a very good and able backroom staff alongside him. I just worry there's a massive difference between getting your players and your team and even your fans motivated when you're working on a 3-month rolling contract, if you like. When you sit a manager down and go, right, here's 2 to 4 years in the job, I just worry that his ability to get them players motivated for matches and going for things will be as easy as he's found it this year. Not to say that it was easy, because it's of course difficult at the best of times at Manchester United. I again worry about the idea of having from 1 game to potentially 3 games a week. Now, of course, as Luke's already highlighted, you do need to make some changes, shall we say, especially in the back line and in other certain areas. But then that would just be for the starting 11. You need a squad. You need players who can rotate throughout that squad and be able to provide on the highest level. This isn't just talking about a team who are going to play against Grimsby again. This is going to be a team potentially playing against PSG and Bayern Munich. You know, there needs to be a top level ability of the squad. And I just worry, is Michael Carrick able Has he got the ability to be able to do so? And, of course, we will find out. But I just want to ask you, Luke, very finally on Michael Carrick. If it does go wrong, do you not just think that the players are going to throw him under the bus the same way they have with all the other managers who have come
Maybe,
before
which
him?
why it comes back to the recruitment thing. I was listening to what you were saying there about Michael Carrick, and sometimes in football we overhype the manager too much. You're talking about if Carrick gets the job and he's awarded the job on a 2 or 3 year contract, those players have to represent the football club. They're playing for Manchester United. They can't look
that hasn't been the case. Of course, they've been playing for Man United, but
they play for Manchester
that doesn't
United.
seem to be bothering these football players.
But okay, by the way, generally, Michael Carrick, 3 years' time, where do you say he was just left after 3 years? Are you concerned because you don't think Michael Carrick could be the one that gets you over the line to win the Premier League? Is that why you're sitting here right now?
Yeah, and I just think, why are you going to allow a person time if you don't genuinely believe he can take you?
But how many managers do you generally believe right now will come in with Manchester United and win the league in 3 seasons? I mean, with respect, I know you're the biggest club in England, but you have to sort of walk before you can run again.
Well, you say that, and there's two aspects to what you said there. The first part I agree with in terms of, well, who else is out there? There are a couple of names out there that you would go, right, okay, forget whoever we've got in. And I think even Arsenal should be in that category with the likes of a Luis Enrique or a Carlo Ancelotti, right? There's just certain names in the football manager's sphere that you think, okay, right, do you know what? He is worth the gamble on because he is just blockbuster. However, I would not be up for the idea of giving it to a manager in the same ilk as Ruben Amorim, someone who's done really good in Europe, a bit of an unknown quality. The same with Arne Slot. You know, I just wouldn't go for that type of manager over Michael Carrick. I don't think it's required to make such a big jump. I just don't know. And that's for me is my answer. I just don't know whether Michael Carrick is the man to really take them back to where they need to be. And I think, well,
but then that's fine.
But if you don't believe it,
but you're not there yet.
Yeah, but then and that leads me to the second point. And while I still stand by that, I'm not saying that he can't do it. I'm not saying that he won't do it. I just don't have that feeling. Then again, I might be proven wrong because I did have that feeling with previous managers like Jose Mourinho that he would be the guy. Okay, different things happen with different managers. I get that. I don't agree with this idea that it will take Man United 3 years to win the league. I really don't. I look at the league now and you look at Arne Slot. When he came in, he won it with the first season that he had. He spent relatively no money. I understand their squad at the time was arguably better than what Man United have to offer now, but I don't think that it will require a top level team that we've seen over the last 4 or 5 seasons in order to win the Premier League. I think that we might see a situation if Arsenal do get over the line this season. Could Mikel Arteta go on a high? That would be a question that we need to see what happens. Would any of the players move on once they've completed the big challenge of winning a Premier League title and so on? I don't think Arsenal will be there if they don't win. If they don't win it, I think you can almost guarantee they're going to be right up there again. I just don't know how they're going to handle being the defending champions, because even in your golden eras, you weren't able to defend the title successfully. You look at all the other teams. Liverpool are almost certainly going to get a new manager. Man City are likely to get a new manager. Chelsea, they probably have 3 managers by the time that we start the next season. So it's an opportunity that does not require a 5-year project.
You say that, though. There is one thing that is going to hamper nearly every team going into the summer, and that is the World Cup.
But then everyone's going to be at the same disadvantage.
Yeah, but then again, Manchester United have also got to play, more competitions. So having the World Cup, having the players coming back, and then going into Champions League football, then having the rigours and the demands of Thursday and Sunday, I'm not sure it's going to be that quick a process for United to jump. Yes, they're third at the moment, but you have to look at...
but that's what I'm saying. With all due respect, that they finished, 15th last season?
Yeah.
They're third this season.
They are third this season.
That's a ridiculous jump.
It is a ridiculous jump, but you also
Could that be the highest jump in Premier League history?
Well, potentially. Off the top of my head,
a team finishing 15th and third.
Yeah, but okay, let's not really... Okay.
Well, come on.
Yeah, you finished 50th, but let's
if
not
Man United sacked Ruben Amorim earlier, they wouldn't have dropped points to West Ham, Burnley and Wolverhampton.
Yeah,
there's 9 points
well,
there.
You did. You did.
And breaking news, we have to stop you there because it's been a massive goal in the chance for relegation because Tottenham seem to be climbing out. Luke Henry, because it's Aston Villa 0, Tottenham 2, and Richarlison has doubled Spurs' lead, much to the delight of manager Roberto De Zerbi. Luke Henry.
Yeah, Tottenham 2-0 up. They better win this game. If they do not win this game from this position, then that's not going to go... No, I do not believe that. That must be a half-time.
It's not. It's 25 minutes gone, and we are seeing Aston Villa fans leave their seats.
Yeah, go to the toilet.
What, conveniently at the same time? I think a bit weird. Is that what you do at the Arsenal?
Well, I think they're going to get a drink, half-time refreshing. There is nowhere they're leaving after 25 minutes.
I don't know, mate.
They're not. This is massive for Spurs.
Take us through the goal, Luke.
Oh, it's a ball in from... Oh, no. That's a that's a wicked cross. It's a great cross from Tell on his left foot. He whips it right in. I think there was a suspicion of offside, but Archie doesn't look like he touched it. And actually, it's really poor. It goes over Tyrone Mings' head, and Richarlison, with actually a pretty simple header in his eyes, puts it in. He probably can't believe his luck. And Spurs can't believe their luck because they are 2-0 up at Villa Park. And Roberto De Zerbi's gone on the pitch. He's celebrated. They are delighted. That is a big, big start. 25 minutes.
Now, how like De Zerbi?
Aston Villa 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2. And Aston Villa, by the way, in all of this, tell you what.
Here we go.
No,
Here's your little seasonal jab at your old manager, like it was anything to do with him.
I've never said anything. Just saying, weren't very good against Fulham. They were disgraceful against Fulham. We were very poor on Thursday night. Stinking the place up tonight.
Yeah. Well, look, it leads us very nicely on, unless you wanted to say anything else about the Manchester United situation. By the way, Liverpool, absolutely embarrassing. I'll go back to what I said. The fact that you gave a manager who just won the Premier League £500 million, you've got that worse. I just don't understand how that's even possible. They've lost to Manchester United twice in the season. Hang your head in shame, because one of them was at home against Ruben Amorim. Ridiculous.
Yeah, quickly, just very quickly on Liverpool. I'm just very fascinated to see how it works in the summer, because he's obviously not going anywhere.
But I hate this idea of well, if he gets Champions League, he deserves the job. The level,
I think they've come out and said he's not.
You say that, but virtually,
Yeah, but
we could be in a situation where a third of the Premier League will get Champions League football. We could have 6 teams in the Champions League. So, but forgive me for this idea that, you know, top 4 is ever a thing anymore, because it's not. We can see Brentford in the Champions League. Now, you can talk about your feel-good stories all you want, but when they're getting absolutely walloped in the group stages and it's embarrassing the nation on the European stage, no one's going to find it a wonder story then, are they? You want the biggest teams, you want the best teams. The fact that the Premier League has been warranted 6 teams, okay, you could say that it's the strength of the Premier League and all of that stuff. There's only one team in the final 4 of the Champions League who we're going to get to the final potentially.
Well, Villa Forest, so we've got an English team.
Oh, well done.
Well, if you've
Europa League, that's their level. That's where Brentford should be.
There's no
that's
teams,
where Liverpool should be. But the fact that there's 6 teams shows that this Champions League qualification is not what it used to be.
That's what it is. You can't really scoff at it. If Aston Villa finish 5th and win the Europa League and there's no teams dropping down from the Champions League, that is just a proof of the pudding. The team that finished 6th in the Premier League is, in fact, you should be saying to your likes of Chelsea, put your finger out if that's what you want. But the Premier League's competitive.
A team 6th is just ridiculous. It's exactly like the Championship extending the playoffs to 8th place.
You can't moan about it.
You can finish 8th and be in the competition you want to be in.
Yeah, and it might...
Ridiculous.
Well, it might be. But actually, right now, 6th gets you Champions League football on the basis of Villa win the Europa League and finish 5th.
Ridiculous.
So, I'm not being funny. It's a great platform for the other sides if they want to finish 6th. But just quickly, Liverpool, very fascinated to see how it's going to look next season. Obviously, no Salah. Virgil van Dijk is getting older. Konate, I'm pretty sure he's going to sign a new contract. Robertson's going. Kirk his first season hasn't gone down particularly well. They're still missing Trent massively for me. And also, Jamie Carragher said it, I can't wait to see how they get Wirtz, Isak and Ekitike all together in the same team. I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see. You touched on how much money they spent. They're probably going to have to spend again. Yeah, fascinated just to see how that all works. Yeah. And Alisson as well, another year older. That whole team there, Curtis Jones has been open to leaving as well.
Good.
I just don't know where that team goes from here. By the way, every time we look up, Spurs
are on the
look
attack.
like...
There's a ball lofted in from the right-hand side, and it's Jed Spence, I think, who's temporarily took it down. Pulled it back. Yeah, we still will, of course, keep you right
Spurs
across
look good.
Tottenham's game. Yeah, they look well drilled, they look organised. Adam, do you just want to say something?
I just wanted to ask if anyone knew whose decision it was to sell Luis Diaz from Liverpool, because I know that he basically asked for more money. They were paying him something like 50 or 60 and he wanted about 200. Bayern Munich, straight in, here's your money, and look at him go.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, what a
exactly. It's Sadio Mane 2.0, isn't it? It's the exact same team once again. This is exactly the situation. I don't think their recruitment has been very good at all. So we've spoken about the top end of the Premier League. Why don't we talk about the bottom end? Because, of course, West Ham lost miserably yesterday. It was a really bad performance. Really, really bad performance.
Was it really bad?
I just think
it was really bad.
No, I think it was. I think they were quite poor, but it wasn't just that. It was towards the end of the game, the needless bookings. You know, I just thought they lost their heads a little bit, and it looks like they're struggling a lot, and they cannot afford to be like that because they've got some very difficult games, added with the fact that they're going to end the weekend, as it seems, with Tottenham 2-0 up. It means West Ham will be in the relegation zone, Luke Henry.
Yeah, I think it's going to... It's interesting. I didn't think they were that bad. I thought they were a little bit unlucky. I thought in the second half, since the penalty decision, that's stupid. Don't do that after 55 minutes.
Exactly.
Then you're playing a tall order of a game of football. But they were unlucky in the first half in a couple of bits. Arsenal, it's funny because I actually think on paper that's our toughest game. I think West Ham away is not the nicest game.
Yeah, I actually agree with that as well.
But then again, like you say, now of the performance, it's funny how a week can change, because now if you look at it and what happens on Tuesday for us, we'll go into that at 8 o'clock. We'll have a spring in our step. They'll probably know that they probably have to try and win the game. Maybe a draw might not even be good enough at that moment in time. But they've got leads on the final day, and they've got Newcastle. Newcastle know they won at the weekend. Their form's fallen off a cliff. We spoke about that last week with our resident Newcastle fan and brilliant impressionist, Ollie Klink. So I don't know, because I really don't see Tottenham beating Chelsea no matter how good they are. Chelsea always find a way to win. I mean, and then Everton on the final day could still be chasing Europe. So it's still going to go to the final day. But like I said, look, with half an hour in, Spurs have to... even right now, I'm telling you now, I don't think a draw's good enough. Obviously, Spurs fans would have probably taken a draw.
I agree. I asked a Tottenham fan out there in the office, and he said that he would take a draw. But as it stands...
Well, I even said it after the Brighton game. When they were 2-1 up against Brighton, I said they have to win this game, and then they draw. I was like, they're not going to be happy with that. This, they have to pick up 3 points. They actually have to pick up... Well, if they want to stay in the Premier League, this is it, though. If they look back and go down, they'll be like, we played so well for 30 minutes against Aston Villa away from home, and we just found a way not to win the game.
Well, the tide seems to be turning. 15 minutes to go until half-time, and it's Aston Villa who have currently got the ball in the Tottenham half. They're pinging it around from left to right, but we haven't really seen a clear-cut chance for the home side, have we, at the moment?
No, I don't think Villa have even had a shot. Even there, Ross Barkley getting dispossessed in midfield. Spurs look like they're working. They look like they've got a pattern. They look like they've got some balance. They look like some organisation and leadership. It's funny how football changes. New manager comes in, some fresh ideas. Jadon Sancho is literally just passed the ball out for a goal kick, and some of the Villa fans are not happy. It's safe to say. Football, eh?
Football, Unbelievable. So
sport.
very finally then, who gets relegated, Luke Henry?
West Ham.
West Ham.
Yeah, I've always had a feeling that they won't go down.
Oh, that's a big shame. That is a big shame. All the Aston Villa fans are going crazy right now.
I'm not sure it is a big shame, because...
it is a big shame. They've shown a lot more fight than Tottenham have.
Oh, sorry, for West Ham. I just like the fact that Spurs fans are going to be cheering Arsenal on next week. I think it's poetic.
That's phenomenal.
I think it's just poetic justice for what happened 2 years ago, so I think it's brilliant.
There you go. Have a bit of that, Tottenham fans.
At least they can sing the Eze song.
Yeah, unbelievable. Anyway, should we move on?
We can move on.
What do you want to talk about, mate?
Do you know what?
That big gulp of water. What are we talking about?
Let's talk about you.
Oh, my favourite subject.
Yeah, because you're good. Me, myself and I, there's no I in team, but there is me, right? You've done some stellar work this season, my friend.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, appreciate that a lot.
You have definitely changed the game.
Yeah, we're trying to.
Still waiting for you to change your fashion sense. We'll do it in stages. We'll do it in stages. We normally do your post-match interviews.
Yeah, we do, from the games.
We normally do.
So I was obviously at...
discussed it, Northampton, Plymouth.
Northampton, Plymouth, what a game, mate.
Yeah, but this time, should we listen to you in a bit of action?
Oh, no.
Yeah, because I think, like we're live on YouTube.
Okay.
We're going international now. People at the Plaza de Mayor are probably listening to this.
Yeah, shout out to the Mayor guys.
They're having a little bit of tapas and whatnot. I just think we should give people a little flavour. See what I did with tapas and flavour? It's good, that. Of what you do.
Brilliant.
So...
Is this a wind-up?
Nope. I think we got it. Let's have a listen to the main man, Anil Kandala, to the right of me, in action at Northampton versus Plymouth. This is how it all sounded on the TalkSport network.
Yes, there is a goal, and this one was not in the script. It's Northampton 1, Plymouth 0, and the scorer is Elliot List. He was slipped in on the left-hand side, and it's another goal for Northampton. It's Northampton 2, Plymouth 0, and this time it's Michael Jacobs, where it's game on. It's Northampton 2, Plymouth 1, and it's all thanks to Lauren Tolaj, and the comeback is alive. It's Northampton 2, Plymouth 2, and it's Malachi Boateng. Conor McCarthy has been sent off for the home side after a rash challenge. They have the man advantage, but can they find the goal advantage? The comeback is complete. It's Northampton 2, Plymouth 3, and Brandon Werradu off the bench. He smashes the ball in, but it's a day of misery for both clubs. It's a club record 11 defeats in a row for Northampton, and Plymouth face final day heartbreak. Their inspired comeback was to no avail after the late winners for Stevenage and Luton. It means the Green Army season ends here this afternoon. Full time here at Sixfields, where it's finished Northampton 2, Plymouth 3.
Model, professional, some of your finest work. Very smooth, mate. Very good.
Thank you, mate.
Natural.
Yeah.
And natural. How do you think you've improved since you've done it to then?
Well, yeah, I think the best part of the game yesterday was Jason Bourne, who's the head of live football at TalkSport. He sent me a voice note, and I was a little bit worried because normally he would just message me, just saying good work or whatever, but he voice noted me, and I just thought, oh no, I thought, bloody hell, I really haven't I really hope I haven't done anything really bad. But he voice noted me and said just basically really nice things, just saying really good work, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to blow my own trumpet. But yeah, he was being really complimentary. So thank you so much to Jason. Not only for that voice note, by the way, but also to give me the opportunity to report. I've had so many experiences now. You know, I've realised I was tidying my room. And what I've done, so I've got a signed Wayne Rooney shirt in my room, framed and all that. And what I do every time I get a pass, comes with the lanyard, doesn't it? So every time I finish the game, I'll go home and just whack it on, and I had like all of them build up, right? And I was looking at them the other day, and it was like, bloody hell, there's loads there, like loads. Yeah. And you don't realise, if someone asked me now, I'd say I've probably done 8 games. Mate, I had about 20 lanyards there, and I was thinking, bloody hell, I've done quite a lot here. So yeah, I've enjoyed it. A few difficult moments. I think when it's honestly, it is the craziest drug in the world doing a report. Because when it goes good, and you know, right, you finish your report and you've gone, yes, not even a stutter in my words, I've smashed that report, it is an unbelievable feeling. When it doesn't go your way, genuinely, you couldn't hate your job more. You are like, oh gosh, get me off air, I hope nothing happens to this game, and I do not want Adrian to throw to me again, because I hate every second of this. It's so much adrenaline that almost sometimes it gets too much. Where a goal goes in and it's the roar of the crowd that just ignites a feeling and adrenaline inside you, where you just go, right, okay, I need to make sure I know the goal scorer, how did it happen, right, okay. And even when you're still working out in your head about what you're going to say, you just realise that your hand is going to your box to click on it to go, there's been a goal at this game. Just so you let them know, and you go, bang, right, it's on. So, yeah, absolutely crazy. But loved it, really, really loved it. It's pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I've loved every second of it.
Yeah, I just want to say, I've listened to Game Day for years on a Saturday afternoon. And the start of this season, when we first started doing Game Changers, when I first listened to your reports, Anil, I was so nervous. And then it went to you, and you were so calm. It was awesome. And I've noticed you've really found your style there as well. There's a real energy to what you do. I'm still nervous when I listen to you, so I'll keep the nerves for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's very kind of you, Adam. And you know, that's what you do it for. You know, I think it's amazing. Don't get me wrong. The support I have from my loved ones is unbelievable. But do you know when people are just generally listening to the coverage? Yes. They go, oh.
Yeah.
You were on, and you go, yes, love that. So yeah, loved it. Let's hope that next season brings some more memories. I put on my vision board for 2026 that I wanted to do Coventry City game. I didn't do a Cov game. I've done 2 this season. So yeah, absolutely amazing to get paid to watch the club. That was 5 or 10 minutes away from my house. Unbelievable. So yeah, next
Old
goal.
Trafford next.
Next goal, yeah. Let's do a Premier League game next season. How about that?
The Emirates.
Yeah.
You can come and see
Cov
me.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
That's the first game of the season, by the way.
Is it?
It'll be watch.
What,
It'll
Premier
be
League champions?
versus the next Premier League champions. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so
We're
good.
going to win it back to
Loved
back.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, back to back. But yeah, absolutely loved it. Really, really good. I felt a real sense of achievement yesterday from doing it. So yeah, just pushing me out my comfort zone. Let's hope that it progresses, and we'll see where we get to, Luke Henry.
Yeah, I'm delighted for you, mate. I think you've done some stellar work, and also your interviews as well. Yeah, safe to say you've changed the game this season. It feels quite weird actually, because we are actually getting to the end of the season.
I've really felt that. As in, like, gosh, this is it now.
So
This is the end of the season.
we might have to do some end of the season awards actually on Game Changers.
Wow, I will pick everything up. You will definitely get most improved.
No, I think Matt was quite good.
No, he'll get biggest snake.
Yeah.
Biggest snake.
I'll get most jealous because you're mates with Frank Lampard now.
Yeah, well, Frank.
Yeah, Frank.
Oh, listen, we'll get Frank in for a show soon. Don't
Oh,
worry
we
about
could.
that. We could do, yeah.
Yeah, we could.
I'll
Actually,
speak
we should
to
do
Guard
that.
Media, yeah.
We should get some of the EFL people in.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, you sort that out,
Yeah,
and I'll
you-
get all my Spanish like
When you getting Henri?
to the pipeline, mate.
Well, it better be.
Oh no, it is. Yeah, it is. It's just it's complicated.
We've got our own Henri, Luke Henri.
Luke, he saved your backside yes again, hasn't he?
Not really.
Yeah, well, don't get me wrong. I think I'd probably enjoy doing the show with Henri a little bit more, but you'll do.
No, thanks.
You'll do,
Yeah,
you'll do.
I'll speak to Thierry.
You speak to him, will you?
Yeah,
So why don't you just speak to him on the show?
I will. Well, when we get him, I'll speak to him.
What do you mean when?
Well, when I get next down the Plaza de Mayor.
Was he there as well? Was he on Plaza de Mayor?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, the Frenchman in Spain.
Yeah, he's working
Yeah.
for CBS.
And what were you doing? CBA?
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Very good indeed. But yeah, loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was. It's been a great season. I've really enjoyed going to these different stadiums, learning about all the clubs and the leagues and stuff like that. So I think my knowledge of the EFL has just naturally, increased because you do just follow these things. They do stick in your head. Like even the permutations for the game yesterday. So the reason why I went there was because Plymouth. It was so funny. So when I got to the stadium, so every time you drive to the stadium, there'll always be as you'll know, there'll be a security guard there going, "Wind your window down, mate. What do you need?
You can't come in."
Yeah, well, basically, yeah. So I said, I'm here for the media. He went, "Oh, media, who are you with?" I went, "Oh, with TalkSport." He went, "Oh, TalkSport are here today, are they?" And I went, "Yes, they are." But and obviously the reason why was because if Plymouth won and other results went their way, they could have got into the playoffs. And it was just so good to be across all of the stories and see how literally a goal can change the whole outlook. So fantastic day, really, really grateful. And of course, thank you to TalkSport and everyone who has helped me on the journey. Big things to come hopefully next season at Kemry.
Yeah. What would you like to do? One thing you say now, let's play it, we'll clip it, we'll save it,
Okay.
and then we'll look back at the next season.
Honestly,
Yeah, why not?
I'm
Whatever you say is not
going
going
to say it now. Sunday,
forget about Ralph.
Sunday, 3rd of May, 2026. I'm going to say before the end of the calendar year, I want to report for TalkSport or anyone. Right, anyone, Game Changers, if they
Yeah.
send me, whatever.
Oh, what's it said you?
Should we start again?
Yeah.
Let's start again. On Sunday, the 3rd of May, is it? Yeah, Sunday, the 3rd of May, what my goal is in terms of reporting for 2026, I will report from a Coventry City game live from the CBS Arena in the Premier League. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Watch.
I'm watching.
I'm going to do it.
Coventry Man United. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Oh, don't tempt me with a good time, honestly. I'll have a fever dream.
What, we going?
What? OB.
Game Changers?
Yeah.
OB.
Should we do
Yeah,
it?
why not?
Yeah,
Really
why
should,
not,
shouldn't
why
we?
not? I spent all the budget on Vegas though, didn't I? WrestleMania.
Yeah,
what
not
a
your
big
outfit.
Not yours either. What time's the funeral, mate?
I would not wear these trousers at a funeral.
I wouldn't take it. Take out the.
Man, I'd wear a suit first, have a bit of decorum and something about me.
Yeah, have some respect.
Yeah. What you got to lower the mood for?
Anyway, yeah. Should we bring up the mood by some?
Yeah,
winners
quickly
and
bring
losers?
up. Yeah, speaking of winners, it's just finished in the F1 in Miami. The F1
Oh,
is
has it?
back. Yeah, and I think it's Kimi Antonelli's won again.
Has he?
Incredible.
Of course, pole position.
Yeah, well, and
F1 knowledge.
Interesting that Max Verstappen's driving the day. Didn't really get to see much of it, but he started second, finished fifth. Charles Leclerc had a good start. I think it was a chaotic first 10 laps. But yeah, another winner, Kimi Antonelli, keeping the history, one of the youngest drivers to win 3 races out of the first 4. It's obviously been stopped, probably an elongated start to the season due to the situation in the Middle East. So yeah, F1's back.
Oh yeah.
And here we have Piastri and Norris having a little debrief after the race. But yeah, another win for Mercedes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Shout out the Merc gang.
So that's the winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, George Russell got the fastest pace.
Top speed of the race. I don't really understand any of them
217 miles.
numbers. But anyway,
You do. You
Nah,
know how
I
quick.
couldn't care less about them. Anyway, should we crack on with the final feature of the first hour?
Yeah, we can do.
Adam, hit it.
Everyone's a winner, baby, that's the truth. I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me?
Why don't you kill me? Anyway, very simple. The feature that everyone loves. Winners and losers. Simple. We
Yeah.
pick our winners, we pick our losers. Don't we?
Yep.
Okay, shall I start?
Yeah, your winner wouldn't be your music choice or
What?
singing voice.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, what about this then?
Oh gosh.
I was going.
Can you just remember?
Yeah.
We're on live on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
There is
okay,
people watching.
Wait,
So
wait.
whatever you're gonna sing or whatever you're gonna do, just make sure it's up to
Okay.
Game Changer
And
standard.
baby, everything that I have is yours. You will never go cold or hungry. I'll be there when you're insecure.
Why are you looking at me when you
Let
sing
you
it?
know that you're always lovely, girl. 'Cause you are the only thing that I got right. Oh.
One day this show will end. We'll never do
We will
it again.
never have to do
I
it
will
again.
never sing that song. ever
Brilliant.
again.
Anyway, winners and losers, shall we crack on?
What was the relevance for picking out a Bieber
I
song?
was just thinking, shout out Justin Bieber, by the way. He should be my winner.
Well, yeah, I mean, the feature is winners and losers when we pick our winners and losers.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be from the sport.
no, it's not. It's supposed to be anything you want.
Anything you want.
Well, I picked the weather as a loser. That's not sport
Okay.
related.
Well, it can be. But fine, I'm going to change it. Off the cuff, let's see how good I am. Laptop closed.
Oh, wow.
My winner of this week, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than Justin Bieber. What a guy. Unbelievable Coachella performances. Smashed every single record for Coachella that there ever was. Highest paid, most views, social clips, absolutely everything, right? And the reason why he was so amazing for his Coachella performance was for 2 reasons. Number one was because essentially the whole premise of his performance was getting a laptop, typing in his own name on YouTube and ad-libbing and vocalising and harmonising with his old self, his younger self, which was fantastic. Because the reason why is because there was something along the lines of, and this is perfect because it's a music radio station at the end of the day, he sold all of his rights to his music. So I think he sold it for like 200 million or whatever, right? He sold all of his rights, so he can't make any money off it anymore. So, you know, when you go on YouTube and you type in Justin Bieber and watch his video, that view does not contribute to his bank balance. See that? Adam getting very happy with Justin Bieber.
I thought he was going to play some of my ear there. He's wasted on me.
I wish, unbelievable. But yeah, so he sold all of his rights, which means that he can't actually perform his own songs. Right. So what he did was still give the people that he sold his rights to the view because he's typed their name in on YouTube and just harmonise with it. That's the first reason. Incredible loophole to give you basically a big 2 fingers to all the people that try to control him, to take his music. He's gone, have it. I'll still absolutely smash it. And the second more important reason why I think the Coachella performance from Justin Bieber, can't believe I'm talking about this, but this is great. The second reason why the Coachella performance was so amazing was because we talk about changing the game, don't we?
We do.
And when he was, 14, 15 years old, he was bringing out songs that absolutely took over the world, right? Like Baby, like the one I sang.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
I thought you'd always be mine, baby. But anyway, yeah, the second reason why it's so good. The second reason why I think this was such a powerful and amazing performance that genuinely made me quite emotional watching was because he was singing and he was looking back at the screen behind him and it was him singing this song, right? And in that moment when he released that song and it was going worldwide, he was getting all the girls that say they fancy him and all that kind of stuff, he would have thought in that moment, I've made it, I've done it, right? But then he was then, fast forward 10 or 15 years, on Coachella in front of screaming fans going, wow, I thought I made it then, but look where I am now.
Yeah.
And you just think, even when you think you've done something incredible, even when you think that you've had such an amazing success story, which you may have, keep working hard because you just don't know how big you can truly go. Shout out Justin Bieber, my winner of the week, because
this show does everything, honestly. You've just poured your heart out to Justin Bieber. You're going to act this when you, like Ralph Lauren, you're going to clip this up. And, like,
shout out JB, man. Honestly, what a guy. I'd do anything to see him. Him and Olivia Dean.
She's been touring this week.
Yeah, I know. I know a couple of people that are going. Didn't invite me, did they?
Probably for the best.
You know who you are.
Well done, whoever that people are.
What are you doing?
Well,
it's a disgrace.
No, I'm pretty sure they don't.
The people who listen to the show and the people who know me know I love Olivia Dean.
Yeah, I know.
What do they do?
Don't invite you.
I've got tickets.
Yeah.
Oh, not for you.
Great.
Unbelievable.
They want their style to get cramped.
Bit out of order, isn't it?
No, not really.
It's a bit out of order.
No, not really.
Why?
Well, I just think if I had 2 tickets, I wouldn't go anyway. But I probably wouldn't give the tickets to you.
Brilliant. If you had 10 tickets?
I'd give 9 of them. I'd keep 1 for someone else.
Okay, great, yeah.
But you guys...
What are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm doing a show, Game Changers, 7 till 9. Your winner's Justin Bieber. I'm going to add some normality to the show. And my winner is Leeds United. And also Sheffield Wednesday.
Boo! Oh, no, yay!
Yeah,
Shout out to Sheffield Wednesday after that. That was amazing.
Leeds, the reason why, because I thought it was very, 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 very funny for Leeds to be playing Michael Jackson at the end of the game after they beat me. Not that quite Michael Jackson.
Okay.
I thought it was very, very funny. Made me chuckle. Poor old Mike Jackson's gone in at Burnley, lost 3-1, and they're asking him if he's okay at the end of the game.
That's phenomenal.
Because, quite frankly, Burnley's performance this Premier League season has been nothing short of criminal. They've been so bad. In fact, a hot take on the TalkSport Fiery Fridays podcast, which I thought was quite funny. Alex Crook, chief football correspondent, Burnley should not be allowed back up next season because they're such a yo-yo club and they've wasted everyone's time. To be honest, I actually see part of it. It is generally...
What are you supposed to do with them?
No, but honestly...
Just put them in a league of their own and just go, right, you play the under-21s and whoever wins.
Yeah, but come up and be competitive, have a go.
What do you think they're doing?
Not being competitive and not having a go. I've watched them with my eyes. I've actually thought at times this season they have been worse than Wolves. And I still stand by
I agree with that.
I still stand by that. And anyway... Obviously, my other winner is Sheffield Wednesday. Now, we do have a laugh. We do that on this show. We have a joke. But sometimes we forget how important football clubs are to people, to families, and how much of a lifeblood they are to people. And I think it was really, really good from the football club and great that they will go into next season knowing that they will have they won't start the season with anything less than 0 points. They won't have
that moment was incredible.
And to have the countdown and have the fans not know about it and the surprise, keeping going. And I thought what was really clever is that when it got to 12 points, there was a big pause and a big stop. So probably fans thought, do you know what? Okay, okay, 12 points. Okay, it's not great, but at least 9 points, and it stopped again. And then
And
it went down,
the
down,
-1, and it stopped and zoomed in.
and
as if
everyone
that was
more.
it.
And then they celebrated like as a goal. And sometimes I think
phenomenal.
that's the small wins. Obviously, they actually beat West Brom on the day to end the season with 0 points. But the biggest win of the weekend, the future of a football club. And Sheffield Wednesday is a massive football club, and actually probably a Premier League club in some people's eyes. So fair play to them. There's a big winner of the week, and I actually hope they go up next season. What they've gone through this season, I really hope they come back round, go back to the Championship, and who knows, maybe one day we can talk about the beautiful success story that football does, and there'll be a Premier League team soon. So fair play to Sheffield Wednesday and the fans, because football is nothing without fans, let me tell you that.
Absolutely. And going off that, even the Northampton fans yesterday, 11 games, club record defeats straight.
Yep.
They were singing, they were cheering. The manager finished after, they were all talking to him, saying, look, unlucky this season, we'll stick by you. And you just think, you know, especially with fans. So Adam supports Chelsea, I support Man United, you support Arsenal, right? And we're all privileged to relatively be quite up there more or less often. But then you actually think about what football fans genuinely have to go to. Look at Coventry. Look at what their fans have actually got to go through in order to just get to the Premier League. Never mind staying there, never mind getting to Europe, never mind challenge for the Premier League title. Just to even get Premier League status, look what these fans have to go through. People really don't realise, and this was going again off what you said last week. If you didn't hear it, go back and watch it on the Game Changers YouTube channel on Colourful TV, because it was bang on. Businessmen coming in to the game and thinking that they could just run it as through spreadsheets and numbers and graphics and statistics. Football is much more than that. It will unite a country. It can unite nations. It can unite a community. And moments like the one that we saw with Sheffield Wednesday highlights that in abundance.
Yeah, completely agree. It's something I felt. And when we talk about Arsenal, which we do, I have to put perspective on it. You know, my club are challenging for the Premier League for the last 4 seasons. They're now in Champions League semi-finals. Can't really throw my toys out of the pram when I see what's going on with the rest of the footballing pyramid. Yeah, I want to win, but when you put it in insignificance, come on.
You're right. We can't throw our toys at the pram, but should we start throwing our toys at the pram?
Yeah, let's call some
Yeah,
losers
let's start
out.
throwing.
Yeah, why not?
That's
That's
what we start throwing our toys
Too
at the
nice
pram.
now.
Yeah, too nice. Let's try and end the first hour of an incredible Game Changers show. As always, live on Colourful Radio and, of course, on YouTube. Make sure you head over to www.youtube.com/@colourfultv if you're not already with us.
WX3, sorry.
WX3, yeah. If
Yeah.
you know, you know. If you don't, watch on. We might tell you. My loser of the week, Fulham Football Club. Fulham Football Club. And we're going to get into this because I'm not sure if you heard much coverage of TalkSport today, because I know you're right across it, but you might have been travelling in or whatever. Very good conversation about Fulham.
Interesting.
Very good conversation.
well.
Let's talk about that after we've spoken about Arsenal. But my loser of the week is Fulham. Why do teams just roll over and get their belly tickled? Yes, Arsenal were most likely going to win the game. Yes, they were going to leave with 3 points. Yes, only 1 or 2 teams, including Man United, by the way, have gone to the Emirates and got a result. Okay? It's a very difficult thing that only the top teams can provide, like Manchester United. But why turn up in the first place? There were players jogging back. There were players who couldn't be bothered to mark the run. And I get it. Arsenal were very good, particularly in the first half yesterday. But you allowed them to effectively take their squad off in preparation for the game against Atletico. Now, Fulham's only opportunity to get something out of this game is the fact that Arsenal was sandwiched in between a massive semi-final of a Champions League. You look at the game right now, which is half-time. Tottenham are beating Villa 2-0. Why? Probably because they've made 7 changes because they are sandwiched in a massive semi-final. Okay? Fulham have the opportunity. Make Arsenal knackered. Make them choose between a priority of the Premier League or the Champions League. What did you do? Rolled over. Laid down, let them go through, and they didn't even have to be that good to beat you 3-0. It was an absolutely embarrassing display, and okay, you're the underdogs. Okay, you haven't really got much to fight for in the grand scheme of things, besides equaling your highest points tally. That in itself should be motivation. They just weren't at the races, and it really winds me up when you have such a superior team come up against an inferior team, and the inferior team show why they are exactly that.
Yep, thanks for that, mate.
No problem.
No,
Can I
just-
point out Fulham's record against Arsenal, away to Arsenal?
I think it's 17 defeats in the last
33 matches away to Arsenal,
32 defeats or something. Isn't it?
26 losses, 7 draws, and
Just get in the bid.
it's this 33-game winless streak is the most occasions any side has faced another without victory in away games across English Football League history.
Get in the
Hell of
bid,
a
Fulham.
stat.
Get
Yeah,
in the bid.
I went on actually the warm-up show on TalkSport to preview the game actually, and they mentioned that stat, and I was like, yeah, that makes me things like that make me nervous. But yeah,
I just think like,
But what I will
really
say,
irritates
what
me.
I will
What's
say,
the point? And sorry,
would you
just-
take Michael Silva? Would you take him?
No.
He's a very good manager.
He's a good manager, but is he much of an upgrade on what Mark Carrick's done so far? Would he do more? Which is break into the top 2? No. So what's the point? And this is what really irritates me. It just really winds me up. Like, what is the point in games like this? Like, you're just there just to make up the numbers, get your paycheck, and get out of there. The players couldn't be bothered for it. Let's be honest. The Fulham players could not be bothered.
You could actually just give a little bit of credit to the team.
Which we will.
Very good.
Which we will.
instead.
They were good, but then they didn't have to be good.
I don't
the
know if-
second half. The second half, mate.
Well,
It was just call the game at half time.
well, we did. We made some changes.
Call the game at half time. What's the point of even wasting everyone's time bloody on that pitch? By the way, is bloody hell a swear word?
No.
Are you allowed to say that?
Well, you said it now.
Well, yeah, it's a bit late. But yeah, sorry. So I was just thinking, was that swear word? No, I don't think it is either. Anyway, carry on.
Aston Villa.
Are you losers?
Yeah.
Well, the game's you're going to look very, very silly if they pull this back.
Well, I'm not. I'm not at all.
'Cause they're not
Because, yeah, just always this time of the season with Emery. It has nothing to do with the fact that he used to manage Arsenal. Couldn't really care less. It's just, I just don't know with Villa sometimes. I look at them and I go, you know, they're in a title race in December, and now they were, and everyone was telling me how good they were, and now, you know, the performances recently have not been very good. There's a question mark about Morgan Rogers leaving again because of PSR rules. You know, Ollie Watkins, I'm a massive fan of Ollie Watkins. I rate him really highly, but they're going to need another striker in there. I just don't know. I just don't know where Villa go, especially if they don't win the Europa League. I just think, you know, has he done everything he can? I'm not sure. But they haven't been very good recently, and if they want to win the Europa League, flipping heck, they've got to put a huge performance in on Thursday, because they were very, very poor. And if they play like that against Nottingham Forest, who play Chelsea tomorrow, football on the Monday, yeah, it could be a little bit of a worrying into the season for them, even though they've qualified for the Champions League, but they really want a trophy. They really want that trophy. So, yeah, Aston Villa, worrying times, play like that. I mean, that is very poor first half performance from them.
Yeah, ridiculous, unbelievable. That was quite good.
Thanks, man.
No, from me.
Oh, well, Adam's been very good.
I thought you were good. I thought
Adam's been great.
Strong. Right, what's to come in the next hour, then, mate?
Well,
Bit of Arsenal chat. You happy?
I'll explain. I'm happy, but goodness me, I'm petrified.
This is it now, isn't it? And the question we will be asking on the other side of the break to Luke Henry, our resident Arsenal fan, is this the week that defines Mikel Arteta's career at Arsenal? Don't answer.
I didn't
think.
I thought.
Think.
I
think.
Sit down.
I shall think.
I'm sat.
I'm sat, indeed. So don't go anywhere, everyone. We've got a massive second hour to come. Of course, we cannot complete a Game Changer show live on Colourful Radio, the show powered by TalkSport, without speaking about Arsenal.
Wonderful. Brilliant.
Top. Yeah. But anyway, we will be speaking about Arsenal, of course. We will have all of the best features still to come. We've got Track of the Week, a very special preview of that.
Yeah.
The sombrero, where's it gone?
Where has it gone?
We can't find it, but we will get that very shortly. Like I said, so much to come. So don't go anywhere. Stick around with me, Anil Candola, and the wonderful Luke Henry, because this show will have you covered. We will be speaking big time about the Gooners. Is this the year? Is this the year that we finally have to accept defeat as Arsenal haters and just see them lift that Premier League title? See them lift that Champions League trophy? I really hope not, but we will find out, and we will see if Luke Henry is in a very good mood. So don't go anywhere. As I've already said, Arsenal Track of the Week, we've got all of it covered. Also the conclusion of the EFL. Don't go anywhere, because I will definitely sneak in a bit of Coventry City chat somewhere. What an end to the performance of a season for the Sky Blues. And a bit of triv with DJ Bradders. Don't go anywhere. This is the show powered by TalkSport on the wonderful Colourful Radio. Don't go anywhere, because we will have you right covered. You are listening to Game Changers with me, Anil Candola, and Luke Henry.
This is Game Changers with Luke Henry.
Yes, and welcome back to hour 2 of Game Changers, the party hour here on Colourful Radio. We're live on YouTube. If you're watching, you can see that I've got a lovely sombrero. And also, you're wondering where my co-host is on, Anil Candola. Well, I'm safe to say he's had a quick change because, as I told you, his fashion sense is absolutely terrible. And he joins me now. And what the blimmin' heck have you got on your forehead?
I think I look quite good with this.
I think just when you couldn't look even worse.
Let me mic up.
You, what is this? I mean, I've got a Mexican hat on because it's a Mexican
Hello,
day.
can you hear me? Am I logged in?
No, I wish.
What do you think about the hat?
What?
I think I look quite good.
Quite is an understatement. Good,
Very.
good. I'm not sure quite. Anyway, as I was really
Sorry, as you were.
no, it's
As you
fine.
were.
I mean, that is just diabolical. I mean, that's not top, but something is top. Is Arsenal Football Club top of the league by 6 points. We'll talk about that in a little bit of detail later on. We've also got some chat about the EFL and the playoffs have been set. Middlesbrough versus Southampton and Hull snatch the last place. They'll take on Millwall. We'll get our little views on that. We'll also be welcome with the one and only Bradley Adam for a little bit of trivia. And if that's not enough, we spent all our budget on the upcoming DJ that is going around the town. If you haven't booked your tickets to his latest concert, I don't know what you're doing, but his name is DJ Bradders, and he'll be joining us at around 8:45. Don't know why you're laughing. He's a serious guy. It's a serious business. It's a serious show. Game Changers episode 31 with 2 hats. I don't know what these hats are, but yeah, keep watching. I hope you've had a cup of tea. I hope the biscuit hasn't sunk to the bottom, and I hope you're still with us for the next 56 minutes. Game Changers on Colourful Radio, powered by TalkSport. You lovely lot.
I look so good. Oh, what a track that is, by the way. The future sound of London,
Yeah.
Papua New Guinea.
Yeah,
Bosh.
yeah, a great song.
Serious track. What are you doing?
What am I doing? Well, it's Mexican Day and it's a party atmosphere.
But
And it's bank holiday, by the way.
What
so
do you mean
everyone-
it's Mexican Day? What does that? We've got part of this, right? And it's on your face. It's on your look at the string. It's on the string is not supposed to be on your face. That is not what it's supposed to.
Well, I
Could you
had 10 seconds.
Can you just look out the window for us? Look, it's on his face.
It's
It's not what it's supposed to be.
well, it's Cinco de Mayo.
That's Spanish.
Yeah, no, that's not. That's the Mexican Day. I was speaking to my friends at the Plaza de Mayor last week, and they told me everything about Mexican Day. So yeah, I bought a hat in the interval. You went
I think I look good with mine. You actually don't.
mate. If you actually think you look good, I'm a bit concerned. And don't listen to your phone, and don't listen to anyone's messaging saying you look good, because if they do,
You're so funny. You look great. Thank you. You know who you are.
oh, flipping it. You meant if you look. What I
Oh,
said,
did I tell you?
what if I'm true to my
I've
friends?
got some news, mate.
Oh, please say
You've got bits of straw from that hat in your hair.
brilliant. Have I? Well, I'll do anything for the show.
You go, mate. You go, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Who's a good boy?
Definitely not you. Definitely not you.
Oh, well, we're gonna stop the. I look good with mine.
Well, I'm not. I'm just
Fine,
taking
I'll take
mine.
mine off. Fine.
Oh, you look
worse. Brilliant,
worse.
brilliant, very, very good.
That song was,
you.
as you said, the future sound
Oh.
of London.
He is so funny. Who's that?
He is so funny.
Yeah, that was from my mum. That's probably about you.
Thanks. Very
Brilliant.
kind.
What you do. Do you know what? Amazing, by the way. My win of the week should have been my mum. Do you want to know why? I haven't even said this. So, do you know when I was in Vegas for WrestleMania, right? And you were doing the show. Obviously, my mum knew that I wasn't doing the show because I was in Vegas.
Yeah.
Right? She didn't message me on that evening, didn't say anything at all. And then she screenshotted it, me on Game Changers. She knew I was on Game Changers because she listens to the show even when I'm not on. Now, if that's not a true fan.
Well done. She's a legend.
Kim,
legend.
legend, actual legend of the game.
legend.
Shout out Kim.
See that you said Kobe Mano was a legend. See that?
Kim Candola.
See that's no
What
way.
a cool name
That's
that
a cool
is.
name, isn't it?
Yeah,
Not
you-
quite an ill Candola.
Mum's the word. Mum's a legend.
Your mum's a legend. Shout out the mumsy. Yeah, unbelievable. What
That
a
is
fan.
good. Yeah,
Proper
what a
fan. Tuned in to you. I was wondering, what are you doing?
Thanks. That's really kind.
Yeah,
Considering
I know,
my mum doesn't even tune in to me, to be honest. Come in. How was the show? What was your track of the week? Again, did you win? Oh, thanks, mum.
Honestly, unbelievable. But yeah, fantastic. Shout out. But anyway, I was going to say, I can't remember. Oh, yeah. You haven't heard, have you? News next week.
I don't know if I want to know. When you go like news next week,
What do I do? Do what I just
Just
did.
went, oh, news next week. Like, is it to do with me? Like, congratulations.
Sorry,
No.
just one more time. Just can you just look down the camera when you do it?
Yeah.
So start again.
Oh, I've got some news for you next week.
I don't do that. I don't do that.
Whatever it
I
is,
don't do
as long as
that.
I'm not involved, you do as you please. If you're off next Sunday, no problem.
I'm not off next Sunday.
I hope you have a wonderful time with whoever, how lucky she is. You deserve it all. If you want a bit of advice from me as a friend, whatever you do,
Yeah.
sit down at candlelit dinner. Don't give it one of those. Whatever you do, please don't. I love you to bits. I'll be honest with you.
Oh gosh, that is unbelievable. I don't do that.
Just find a new polo.
I don't do that. Yeah,
And
I won't
whatever
get a
you
new
do,
polo. But I'm just
do
saying.
not
All I'm going to say, Adam, make sure you stick the hair back. Luke, put some aftershave on. Maybe just have a little special guest watching the show next week.
Is this like something to do with like a sponsor? Or?
No sponsor, just a friend, fresh friend.
Ah, speaking of friends.
Yeah,
actually. Okay, cool. Because I've got something I really want to share with you all,
Go on
actually.
then. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you ready then? Make sure that you're looking prim proper.
So we got to look good.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's
So
good
it's
you
going to
said
be quite
that.
tough. Can you just wear a bit of colour maybe?
Right.
Not this colour.
Okay, great. Because next week I've got some really important people coming in
Okay, here we go. Yeah,
to
go
watch
on.
the show.
Go on.
Yeah, they are business people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've met them at the Plaza de Mayor.
Oh, brilliant.
So they're going to come in and have a look at the show.
Okay, well, we're
What
going
we
to have to
actually
stop
gonna do-
because Aston Villa, we're nearly in the second half is underway, by the way. It's Aston Villa
It's,
0, Tottenham 2. Please continue.
Yeah, it's called Game Changers, but
Yeah.
they want to get Game Change on. So just a little bit of Spanish.
That is not even Spanish.
And they're going to bring us tapas.
Oh, I'm a fan.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love a bit of paella.
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 Yeah, same.
Paella.
Patatas bravas.
Yeah, you didn't have any of that. So, speaking of Spanish, your week was very brilliant in Spain. Why was it brilliant, Luke Henry?
Because Arsenal went to the Wanda Metropolitano
And got a draw.
which is a great result.
Well, no one was saying it was a great result when Man United got it when Anthony Elanga scored there. Yeah. Don't remember that? Anthony Elanga for Man United, 1-1.
We need a bit of tumbleweed. We need a yeah, really good, lovely time, unbelievable stadium, best stadium I've ever been to.
Really?
I've never seen a stadium like it.
Better than the Emirates.
Second best stadium I've been to. Honestly, what a gaff that is. I've never seen a team or a stadium bounce in unison when their team scored. The whole stadium
I love
was
that.
jumping and bouncing.
I really love that.
But we find ourselves in a really good position. You know, we are, oh my goodness me, we are 48 hours away, potentially, from a Champions League final. And I don't know what to do. I'm not even going to speak about it like properly because what can I say? Yesterday's performance was absolutely beautiful. It surprised a lot of people, surprised me. I expected it to be a bit more of a grind because of what happened on Wednesday and how just the hostile atmosphere on Wednesday and the Champions League semi-final and all that mental stuff. But sun was shining. Bit of sprinkle of Bukayo Saka magic.
Oh yeah, first goal in 2026 at the Emirates.
Victor Gyökeres, his best performance. Emre Echeze pulling the strings.
course he was,
Calafiore. But the best one was the introduction of Miles Lewis-Skelly in midfield, and that was a real nice moment. Especially,
I'll give you your flowers because you've been screaming that for a while, haven't you?
I know what I know. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
And you don't know what you don't know.
correct. And what I do know is that is a £70 million talent in the making. Lovely little. A hug with Arteta after the game, which was really sweet. He said some great words in his interview. It's well worth a watch. And we find ourselves back 6 points clear. City have got 2 games in hand. But I think the great thing for Arsenal fans is shoot and score on sight, score policy. If you want to get goals, you know, we've got Burnley to come. We've got Palace, who look like they're one step closer to a final. So 2 potential games to have a shootout. And then regardless of what Manchester City do, let's win it on goal difference. Let's see. So it's funny how football changes.
It was important you got a couple of goals yesterday, wasn't it?
It was important. The intent was there. It was the right way to play the game. Just very, very happy. The fact that Saka was rested for 45, Declan Rice came off after 60. Brilliant. I mean, it's brilliant ahead of Tuesday, which is going to be probably one of the most emotional games you're going to be at the Emirates. The first time the semi-final with 20. Final since 2006, back-to-back semi-finals. This one feels a lot different because it's very even. Arguably,
Well, didn't you get in the semi-final last year?
yeah, as I said, but this one feels different because arguably we're favourites for this one. PSG was very tough to go away to France and win the game. So, yeah, the feeling of being in Budapest is something particularly special. So,
So the question, let's get to crunch time now. All nice and rosy in the garden. Let's try and bring some hard-hitting conversation to Game Changers. Ready?
yeah, it's not really going to...
Does this week define Mikel Arteta's managerial career at Arsenal? And the reason why I say this is because if he loses the next 2 games, it almost certainly means that he's not going to go on to win a trophy this season yet again. Now, if he does win the next 2 games in the next week, now, of course, the Premier League is still there and the Champions League, if we're talking about progress and making steps in the right direction, by logic, him getting to the Champions League final is an improvement on last season. Factually, whether or not you want to agree with it, whether or not you don't like the idea of just because you get one stage closer to winning it, it doesn't mean anything. I probably agree with that sentiment. But if we're talking factual, they've got one step closer, which by logic would mean the following season they will go on to win it. Now, if they get to the Champions League final and then they lose the Premier League title on goal difference, I think I've already asked you before, maybe on Game Changers, maybe in private, that would mean that there's progress. But are we just picking hairs here? Are we just really trying to force an idea that they're in the right stage if they do get to that? Or would that worry you to say, we have got to the final stage, we cannot get any closer? Does that worry you?
No, not really. I think I'm just going to live the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks within the moment. And right now, the moment is we are very close to winning the Premier League. And right now, we are 1 game away from a trip to Budapest. And anything can happen in the final. We've seen that regardless of who you play. Very obviously watched the PSG Bayern game, very entertaining. I know everyone made fun of it and said, oh, they've got to watch Arsenal on Wednesday. My tip is don't watch us if you don't want to watch us, that's fine. But in a final, anything can happen and styles make fights, and Arsenal were very, very strong defensively in the Champions League. They've only conceded 6 goals in the whole competition. To put that in perspective, some teams have conceded 5 in 1 game. So I think...
Ooh, Luke Emery. Well, that leads me on to my next question then. If you do get to the final, is there any preference that you'd want to have?
Prefer to play Bayern. I think it's more of an even game. I think they're very good going.
PSG would be so hard, wouldn't it?
It would be, but then again, you never know what it feels like. They might take their foot off the gas. They won it last year. You know, Luis Enrique has come out and said how
clutching, mate.
Well, he did say they were the best team in Europe by far. He did say that.
I do agree. I think they are.
Yeah, but that's my point. So maybe an air of complacency, a little bit of, you know, we think we're better than you, and then look in the final, and you can say what you want. If you're going into a final for Champions League, should you get there, it doesn't matter who your manager is, it doesn't matter what. Just go out there and give it the game of your life, because you might never play that game ever again, because the Champions League final does not come around often. So whatever the result is, you go out and just give it your all on that football pitch, and you come off that pitch with nothing left, genuinely. And then if you can look at yourself in the mirror after that Champions League final, go, do you know what, whatever the result, we gave it everything we had. That's all you can ask for. But don't get overawed by the occasion, and I don't think they will. But we said that they've got to get through Tuesday first, and Tuesday is still going to be very, very tough. I thought Atletico were very good for 20 minutes in that second half. They gave us some problems. Anton Griezmann, very good. Julian Alvarez is just a wonderful.
Ridiculous.
It's wonderful.
Him
to watch
in the Arsenal side, dearie me.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. But
he's the perfect blend of the striker that you need. Julian Alvarez in that Arsenal side. Speaking of that, give me who?
Oh, give me Kvaratskhelia. That's the dream signing
on the left.
Oh, that is the
talk
dream.
About an upgrade of a lifetime from Martinelli to that. But anyway, should we continue with the Arsenal chat? And I think we can hear from Mikel Arteta now. This was what he had to say speaking to TalkSport after a very important victory against Fulham last night.
It's game 2. We said 5 to go. Game 2. We won both of them against Newcastle and Fulham. 3 to go. Let's get to the Champions League final on Tuesday. And after that, we can start to talk about the Premier League.
And how important was this result just for the kind of the positivity that it will inject inside? I know you guys haven't let external noise get involved, but for the fans, you know, it does get jittery in a title race, but that wasn't the case today. It felt like maybe a sense of relief in a way.
It has to be like this, and it's supposed to be like this. You don't gonna have a calm and an easy way to win a big championship against the opponent that we are playing against of the Champions League. It's supposed to be like this. It has to be like this. Embrace it, enjoy it, and do everything you possibly can individually to help and support in the best manner to help us win.
Okay, I'm going to say something on Game Changers here. It's an exclusive. Earlier you said about your dream. This time next year, 3rd of May, by the time the end of the year, I'm going to go to a commentary game for TalkSport and reporting it in the Prem. Okay, I'm going to say mine, right? Genuinely. Laugh it in hell, come back to it if it will happen, but I'm going to manifest it. Between the end of next season, because I think Mikel Arteta will be in the job regardless of what has happened next season. I still think he will be. I am going to sit down for TalkSport or Game Changers or whoever, and I'm going to interview him. And not only am I going to interview him, I'm going to tell him how much I appreciate the job he has done to get the football club back to where it should be, competing first and foremost. And I'm going to tell you that 3rd of May 2026, because that man deserves everything, and I love him to bits, and I see the passion. I see the celebrations yesterday after the game. No one can tell me he does not want it. No one can tell me the players do not want it. Us as fans want it. So let's go and get it for the next 3 weeks. Let's go to Tuesday and put one foot in front of the other, and let's go to a Champions League final. And let's hope City drop points tomorrow and let's go and win the double. Genuinely.
Double.
Let's do it.
You're not going to win the double.
Why not? Tell me why not.
Because the teams that you're up against are better than you.
So, okay then. So
Yeah.
that's it then.
Yeah.
So that's it. So
Yeah. Why? I just don't understand. Why has this got to be the thing with Arsenal fans, right? It's from 1 week that the whole world's collapsing. We're never going to get over the line, and then you have. You don't even win in midweek. You don't even win.
Oh, don't
right?
be so disingenuous.
You don't win.
Don't
You
be so.
win.
Don't be so.
It's not like the old days of the Champions League where the away goal gives you an advantage. It's effectively just wiped that game out.
Did you
right?
watch it? So don't be so
I
disingenuous.
watched it. Sadly, I did watch it.
Yeah,
I did
and
spend
Arsenal
my
were
time
very
watching
good.
it. They were okay.
Oh, flipping
They were okay. What was so good about their performance that you thought, wow, this is a team
was a
that's going to win the
textbook
Champions
champion.
League?
That was a textbook.
No, but what was so good about it?
Well, I don't know. But the fact that we stifled the crowd.
Okay.
The first
Right.
half, the first half of that game was
Okay.
just textbook Champions League performance.
I
Very good.
think towards the end of the first half,
No, we were
they
well.
was-
No,
they
we were well
they-
on top.
in-
We were
in- in
literally
the whole game?
In the first half, we were comfortable.
in the whole game.
And then after their penalty, they had
Yeah.
their momentum. And in
Yeah.
the 75 minutes
So
from the end of the game, we still looked like the better
It was pretty
side.
even.
And we
It-
were
it- it wasn't really. I think 1-1 was probably a fair reflection of the game. I don't think it was a situation where Arteta set the team up and go, right, let's just not lose this game and we'll take it back to the Emirates. I think they tried to get things working and you had your moments, as did Atletico. But then we've also got to remember that out of all of the sides that Diego Simeone has had at Atletico, this is one of the poorest he's had. And
Not my problem.
no, I'm not saying
Not
it
my
is, but
problem.
at the same time, we can't look at it and give Arsenal massive praise for getting a result against Atletico, which traditionally is a very difficult place to go to. But then on the same note, it's not what it used to be in terms of what the team and the manager have been putting out. So, and while I'm not
Okay.
trying to dismiss it.
Well,
It's a good result, but it's not momentous. It's not an occasion where you go, right, okay, this is it now. We've got one step in the final. By that logic, so have they. The result was 1-1.
Who's got a better result, PSG or Arsenal?
PSG.
Why?
Well, because they've got a goal advantage going into the second game.
And they scored 5 goals at home, and their tie is still open, all to play for.
So what point does it make? You scored one, only conceded one, and you've got no advantage. You cannot turn around and say that a team who's got a goal advantage going into the second leg is not in as good a position as a team that doesn't have a goal advantage. This is just ridiculous.
No, I just think what's ridiculous is you're trying to dismiss the performance on Wednesday.
I'm just not trying to dismiss it.
You
It
are.
was a good performance, but it wasn't historic.
Never said
You're
it was
not going to
historic. It
look
was a
back at that and think, wow, that was an unbelievable performance that got us there.
No,
Let's
but
be
it gave
honest,
us.
it
gave
was
Arsenal,
neither here or there.
No, it gave Arsenal fans the confidence that we have
Well,
the home
but with all due
advantages.
respect, it doesn't really matter at all what the Arsenal fans feel.
Well, let's
Because
do it
at
on
the
Tuesday
same-
then.
but yeah, but at the same
Well, don't
time,
criticise me. Don't
Well,
criticise me for being positive.
Well,
don't
well, I
criticise
can,
me for
but
being negative.
Yeah, but you
Not
can't.
gonna-
You can look at it however you want, but at the same time, Luke, you know these are the same Arsenal fans that were told to bring their lunchbox because there was a bit of concern from the Arsenal manager that the atmosphere wasn't going to be there. So we can talk all we
that's
want
not
about.
true.
Well, why
That's
wasn't
not
it then?
true. That's not
Why
true.
did he say bring your lunchbox, bring your lunch, and bring your dinner, bring whatever else? What was that all about?
Because we had
what?
the opportunity to go 12 points clear with
Yeah,
2 games.
so-
Nothing to do with how we thought the fans feel. He was telling them to get up for it.
But why would he need to do that if he knew the fans were going to get up for it?
Because
did you
he-
ever hear Sir Alex Ferguson talk about getting up the Man United
let's-
fans?
I'm not-
Did you ever hear
Yeah.
Jurgen Klopp talking about getting the Liverpool fans up for it?
Let's not do this. We don't
But
need
why?
to go. No, because it's pathetic and boring.
It's not pathetic at all.
It is.
I'm just
I'm
saying.
not gonna-
this
I'm
is the problem that the Arsenal fans
No,
set themselves up
I'm
for
not-
constantly.
I'm not-
You build up results as if they're unbelievable.
I'm
It
not
was a
doing
good.
this.
It was an okay result.
I'm not doing this.
It was an okay result.
Fine, it was an okay result. Let's see what happens on Tuesday. We're in a great position in the semi-leg. Let's go to it. Let's go and win the game of football. Let's go to Budapest. What I think I'm not doing is I'm not having conversations about phonetics and about language and about what he says.
But
I'm
he
doing,
said that though,
yeah,
and you
fine.
have to go off
and that
what
was
he
in
can
what
do.
eight-
He's not going to play.
and that was April the 11th. So you're going to have a big conversation
ago.
about
2
the
weeks
fact
ago.
my team can get to a Champions League final on Tuesday,
Yeah.
and you're going to pick the bones out of bring your lunch and bring your dinner.
Well, no,
Pathetic.
but the
I'm
point.
not doing it.
No, I'm not.
I'm
my
not
point,
doing
my
it.
point
Talk
is not
to me about the game on
Yes, and
Saturday.
my point.
Talk to me about the game on Wednesday, and talk to me why it was a very, very good week for Arsenal. Very, very good week.
Yeah, it was a very good week.
That's
but at
all
the
it
same
is.
time, you
Positive
cannot
week,
have.
move
no,
on.
Luke, no.
I'm not
You
doing it.
cannot have this energy when you
I
have a
can.
good week in
I
your
can.
eyes. But
I
then
can.
when it's a bad week, all you want to do is move on to the next game. Move on to the next
Yeah,
game.
because all
so by by your logic, by your very metric, you cannot sit there and turn around and go, right, after a terrible week.
What was a terrible week?
When you lost and when you were dropping points, when you were getting knocked out of each competition, the 2 games in 2 weeks, where you lost the Carabao Cup final, then you got smashed by a Championship team. That was a terrible week. But the only thing you were saying throughout that was on to the next, on to the next week, on to the next week. But now you've had a great week.
It's on to Tuesday.
No, it's not.
It's on to Tuesday.
Let's really relish it. Let's talk about how great of a week it is. You can't have both. If you want to completely forget about the bad week, then we'll completely forget about the good week. Or if you want to talk about the good week, we can also bring up the bad weeks.
No.
You can't have it both ways.
I'm not having it both ways.
You can't have it both ways.
I said, thank you so much. We'll go on to the next game. Move on. On to Tuesday, on to Sunday. That's what I said. That's what I said. But do not paint the Arsenal fans in a picture like this, because I'm not doing it.
But you can say all you want, but then at the same time, the Arsenal fans do have an element of responsibility when it comes
for how
to
they feel.
Well, no,
do
not
not
how they feel, but also how the players feel.
Don't tell
when
a
the
fan.
Arsenal fans are in that stadium,
Right, and
you can feel the tension, you can feel the pressure, you can cut it with a knife. What do you think that's going to do?
So
to
what
the
happened
players and
yesterday at
manager?
half time? What happened to yesterday at half time?
Yesterday at half time when you were 3-0 up.
You're going to praise
when
them?
you were 3-0 up.
Did you hear the evasion?
3-0 up. It's easy to support your club when you're 3-0 up.
So easy to support the club.
Of course it is. When you're winning and it's going your way.
Do not do this.
That's what it is.
Don't be
but
so,
when it's all going bad, I heard boos. I've heard boos from the Arsenal fans.
Do not be so disingenuous.
We've spoke about on this very show, Luke.
It's
that
disingenuous.
Arsenal fans are booing Arteta.
It's just so disingenuous.
Why
it's a
is
small
that?
matter.
Why?
It's a small matter in the
It's
fans.
not. It's
and
not
if they
at
pay
all.
their money, you can't tell a fan how to feel. But all those Arsenal fans want to win. Real Arsenal fans want to win. They back the manager, they back the players.
But
and don't
Arsenal
tell me
fans are
after a
booed.
good week and a bad week we like to move on. I've been very, very consistent on this show. Every time I said we've got to go one foot in front of the other. And don't start doing that saying you've got me and I'm biting, because I'm not.
just saying it's good
because
content.
It's not
good
good content.
It is.
No,
because you cannot sit here for a second, Luke.
It's not. I don't care.
And have it all your way.
I'm not having it all my way.
You can't just skirt it all around it when your results go against you.
We're not doing that.
Mate, you lost a League Cup final and I
rang on the show.
You lost against a team who were in the Championship,
Right, to
who were a
Southampton.
league below you, who
Right.
still might still be in the Championship next season, right? Which we'll talk about a little bit later on. But what I'm saying is, you can't just skirt over them and go, look, well, they're just mistakes. We'll just
didn't.
move on quickly.
No one didn't. I had to go on. No, we did not.
On this show we did.
No, we didn't.
On this
Well,
show
I
we
didn't.
did. On this
I
show
didn't.
we
I went on
definitely
Talk Sport and spoke to it. I went on Sky and spoke to it. I went everywhere and spoke to it. Don't you dare tell me that Arsenal fans skirted around. No chance.
They did.
No,
but
they did
this
not.
This is what I'm trying to say to you about the fickle nature of specifically the Arsenal fans.
No, ridiculous.
Okay, you can't turn around and go, look, we're gonna win the double. After a month ago, they were.
I said, let's win the double. Why am I not allowed to support my football club?
No, you are allowed to.
So why am I not?
You are allowed to. But there needs to be a little bit of a measure.
Okay, let me change it. Sorry, let me change it. Let me change it. Okay, let's lose on Tuesday. Let's lose on Tuesday, and let's lose the final. And let's lose the final. So then we can have all these conversations about Arteta, shall we?
There needs to be some
logic.
There
is logic.
And your only logic
My
to winning
logic
the Champions League was, well, PSG might underestimate us. That was your only logic to
my
winning
logic
the Champions
is
League.
anything can happen in the final if we get there, and I'd rather play Bayern Munich.
If your only hope by winning the Champions League is saying that they might underestimate us.
Unless you just said we had the best defensive record.
If your only logic to getting through or having a good result in the semi-final was to try and turn around and say your 1-1 draw was a better result than a 5-4 victory.
It's the same.
On what... It's the same.
It's basically the same.
And this is what I'm trying to say to you about Arsenal fans, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not nothing to do with Arsenal
goal
fans.
advantage is the same as no advantage. Apparently, that's the same. What world do you live in?
If you scored
What
5
world
goals,
do you live in?
if you scored in 5 goals at home, I'd like to think my job would be done. They've still got to go and buy, and they can go out.
And
we
they
can
can
still
score
go
another
out.
5 goals.
But I think Arsenal are in a very good position, by having a 1-1 and going away
So
to
you
Spain.
think Arsenal are in a better position to get to the final than PSG based on the semi-finals that we've seen?
Bayern will probably. Bayern.
Answer yes or no.
I think Bayern.
Who are in a better position to get to the final, PSG or Arsenal?
I think Bayern will go through.
Who are in a better position then, PSG or
PSG,
Arsenal?
but I think Bayern will go through because I think Bayern can't believe at the fact they were 5-2 down and managed to get 2 goals back.
It's so simple. You don't even have to follow football. You don't have to know anything about football. What is a better result? Winning a game, 1 goal,
winning a game
or
or
drawing?
But I'm putting the context in of those 2 teams, and I'm putting the context in of our 2 teams. I'm having a conversation about the context of football.
You cannot
I genuinely think Bayern Munich.
Say that your result was better.
Okay,
there is a point there.
I watched the PSG players around the game at the end. They looked deflated. They were 5-2 up. I looked at the Bayern Munich players, and they went, "We've got away with that." 5-4. That game was over after 52 minutes. Yeah. And they've lost that, and they've won that game.
And it's still a better result for PSG than it was for Arsenal.
If you were to put Man United in that position, if I was to put Chelsea in that position, would I want to be going into the second leg of a semi-final 5-4 up, but going
away
to play the away leg, or at 1-1 and going to play the home leg? I'd probably choose the latter
Why would you choose the latter?
because of home advantage.
Home advantage, but then that wouldn't necessarily be required if you believe in your side and you're that good. I think, of course, you can look at the home advantage, but with all due respect, I think ultimately the top teams don't care where they play. The top
4
teams,
goals in at home.
of course, but then they scored
worrying.
5, so it's how you look at football.
So what do you think
And-
they're going to do away from home?
Why can't they score 5?
They might concede 4. They
Yeah, and they might score 5.
They might.
And
They
you
might
might,
not.
and you might only score 1, and it might go to penalties.
Yeah, it might. I think
that's
it's
what
gonna be
I'm
a very
saying to
tough game on Tuesday.
It's going to be. It might be a very tough game on Tuesday. But what I'm saying is, we cannot sit here for a second and genuinely put on a show, live Game Changers on Colourful Radio, of course on YouTube as well, and turn around and say a game that is finished in a 1-goal advantage is not as good a result as a team that don't have any advantage. The advantage that Arsenal have is that there's no advantage. PSG's advantage is a 1-goal advantage. You don't even have to follow sport to understand that PSG had a better result than Arsenal. You can look at it all you want.
Result, maybe, but I
And
think
an
over the
advantage,
2
result,
legs, I'm
advantage,
not quite
all you
sure.
like. And let me tell you now, if both games end 0-0, who's into the Champions League final after 90 minutes? PSG are. Arsenal or Atletico aren't. It's a fact.
But it will never end 0-0 between Bayern Munich and
Well,
PSG.
probably not. No,
will
it'll
it?
probably be even more goals.
It's both ties are really, I think, are very finely balanced.
They're
There's
nicely
not
poised,
a lot
yeah.
not a lot in it in this argument. There really is, and I think it's quite small measures that make the difference between the two results.
I think that the real shame really
Listen,
is
if
the
Arsenal-
fact that the semi-finals are that, because the two teams, the best teams
don't
in
give me
Europe,
this.
are Bayern and PSG.
Oh,
what is the
try
problem
harder.
with that?
I don't care.
What is the problem with
Again,
that?
it's so lazy.
How is that lazy?
We won 8 from 8. Do better in the group phase.
8 from
we
8.
won 8 from 8.
Yeah.
We won 8 from 8. We got our luck by winning 8 from 8.
And Liverpool won
7 from 8.
similar from
and
last season.
Yeah, and they
knocked
lost
out
to PSG.
Yeah.
Not my problem. We're in
Yeah.
we're on the side of the draw that we deserve to be on because we're on
this
there.
is nothing. This is nothing to do with what about Arsenal. This is nothing to do with you. And if you want to get offended by it, then be my guest. But what I'm saying to you is, it's quite clear from an entertainment value, from the goals scored, the best 2 teams in Europe right now
Yeah, from
are
an-
Bayern and PSG.
Right, so
if you take your bias out of it
who's the-
and completely Bayern neutral, the 2 best teams and the final that you want to watch, if it's talking about entertainment, is the semi-final first leg that ended 5-4.
I love this logic because it means for the next 3 years, Chelsea is still the best team in the world.
Yeah, we love that. We love that. Give it entertainment, and it's not just entertainment. And people are turning around and going, "Well, that's no semi-final. Look at the attacking display on talent. This was not try and disarm the opposition. This is we will showcase what we can do." That's exactly what we want to see as football
But it's
fans.
all about lifting trophies, and whoever lifts the trophy at the end of the season.
Exactly.
And if Mikel Arteta doesn't lift the trophy, then there's a big discussion, I think.
And if you had to put £1 million on it, if you win it, you change your family's life because you win £1 million. Are Arsenal going to win the Champions League?
No, but I actually, and this is something I mentioned I wanted to speak to Luke about earlier, I don't think they'll win the Champions League, but I'm actually a little bit upset with Luke at the moment because as a Chelsea fan, I've always wanted Arsenal to lose. I've just don't like the club at all. All season I've been saying Man City going to win, Man City going to win. I kind of want Arsenal to win now.
Well, the league.
Yeah, the league. I got to admit, your enthusiasm's rubbed off on me, and just seeing you go through it, Luke. Honestly, mate, you almost deserve it for yourself. But I'm sick of seeing Man City winning year in, year out, and I think it would do the league a lot of good if Arsenal won, and I think they will now. First time this season, I think they
disagree.
will.
I disagree. I don't think it will do good for the Premier League. I don't think it will.
I think it would do even worse if City win, though.
No, I
again.
disagree. I disagree. I think from a product of the Premier League, I completely understand what you're saying. You want new winners, you want this. But then let's just caveat that with, of course, the Premier League officials. I think it was Richard Masters at the time who turned around and said that he wants to create a model where there's a new team winning it. You can't create a model to do anything. Whoever wins it, right?
Yeah.
But the reason why I don't think it would be good for the rest of football in terms of in England, that if Arsenal win the Premier League, is because, of course, for Arsenal fans, it's great. You win the league, you support them, great, good luck to you. But the reason why I don't think it would be is because what you start to see is teams will try and emulate. What did it take for that team to win the Premier League and become the best team in the country? Now, I think if teams start emulating what Arsenal have done at points in this season to try and win games, I think the entertainment and the products of the football will diminish a little bit. You will see teams that are going to try and really focus on set pieces, really try and hone in on the goalkeeper. And look, at the end of the day, we all can agree the only thing that matters is the result and, more importantly, trophies if you support a bigger club. But if we're talking about the product, I think it will take a bit of a hit if it's understood the way to get over the line is not to play beautiful football, is not to try and attack every game. it's to spend large parts of the game relying on set pieces and goals that will get you through games.
But do you not think it's perhaps a pendulum effect with so many of these things? When something swings so far one way as it did with Guardiola, the tippy-tappy, passing moves, shifting side, 7-second pressure, to suddenly we've gone almost the other way with the pendulum that swung to free kicks, corners, pushing pressure on the goalkeeper. Eventually, someone's going to find the happy balance, and that's going to be a beautiful time, hopefully, where you've got the skill and the movement of the Man City teams, but you've also got the power and the set pieces of an Arsenal team. We can only hope. It won't be Chelsea, though.
It won't be Chelsea. No. Unfortunately not. Sorry, Adam. Sorry about that, mate. Right, should we move on?
Yeah.
Let's talk EFL. Plenty to discuss, because it seems as if we've got our answers. We'll start with, should we go League 2 to Championship or the other way around?
Do whatever you like.
Okay, well, we'll start with League 2. So obviously in League 2, Bromley became the champions, as we already knew. MK Dons finished second, and we have our playoffs: Chesterfield versus Notts County, and then Grimsby versus Salford. Fancy any of them?
It'd be nice to see Salford go up. It's been a long time in the making, ever since the class of '92. It'd be good. I'm not sure many United fans will want to see Grimsby go up. Probably don't like them. But maybe Notts County versus Salford. I think that'll be a good game. Mind you, Chesterfield, I don't know. I think Notts County Salford playoff final.
Yeah, I'd like that. I think Salford, I don't really have an affiliation, and the more that Gary Neville gets involved, the less I want them to do well. I think he just really rubs them the wrong way for all sorts of reasons, which we'll speak about maybe another time. But I think Notts County, they've got a player called Jody Jones who's absolutely ripping it up.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, I used to host a podcast called The Content, and he was one of the guests on the podcast, Jody Jones. So
left winger.
He's had some terrible time with injuries in his career, but he seems to have found his form. He's doing fantastic, and almost feels like every time I'm part of the game day coverage for TalkSport, I always hear an update from Adrian saying that Jody Jones has scored. So I hope that he continues his fine form all the way through to League One, which leads us nicely on to the conclusion of the regular season, where we saw Lincoln champions and Cardiff second. Of course, that was going to happen for quite a long time, and our semi-finals, if you like, of the playoffs will be Stevenage versus Stockport and Bolton versus Bradford. What we think, Luke Henry?
Yeah, gutted for Jack Wilshere that Luton didn't make the playoffs. Very, very close, but just not so far. Bolton. I think Bolton might just have enough. Got some good strikers in there, good team for League One. But then again, when you're the favourites, I looked at Stockport with Louis Barry. I think he's obviously a very good player. They're very even, those actually.
Yeah.
Those. I fancy Bolton just to go up.
I think Stevenage, I think the way in which that they secured their final playoff spot yesterday in the dying moments of injury time, it looked awful for them. It looked like they were going to miss out. I just think moments like that can just really start to spear a strong bit of momentum. And if anything, that's the position you want to be in. You don't want to have playoffs wrapped up 3-4 months. You lose a bit of consistency of really playing at the top level. You want to go into it, which Stevenage are, is in, go into the last minute, go into the last second, really trying. I'm going to put my hat on Stevenage, which leads us on to the big one. Sorry, could you just read the top line out, what it says there? What does it say? Championship, what does it say?
It says Hull City versus Millwall.
No, just above that.
Oh, sorry. The EFL regular season is over and the playoffs are decided.
Next line.
Hull City.
No, just above that.
Championship.
Yeah.
Coventry.
Yeah.
Ipswich second.
No. What does it say after Coventry?
Doesn't say anything about Ronaldo. It says Coventry.
Oh, it says here, Championship. Coventry champions. And let's just completely squash an absolutely ridiculous claim that Coventry are one of the worst teams to win the Championship.
Who said that?
So many. Have you not seen online?
No, because who cares?
So many people have said that.
Who cares?
So many people have said that. Because so many people have said this, that look at the teams that they've had to beat, and the fact that they had a 10-point gap, they've lost it and they still won. Right. The conversation that you should be having, really, if we're being honest, say it quietly. Ipswich stumbled across promotion. They should have had it wrapped up. The squad they had, the parachute payment, the manager who's got experience getting out of that league, they should have stormed that league. And I'm not being funny, but Coventry City won the league by a canter in the end. They scored the most goals, they conceded the fewest. That is what you call a proper Championship side. So anyone who thinks that Coventry are overrated, numbers don't lie.
Told you not to worry.
Yeah, I know, but come on, mate, 10-point swing.
No,
10-point swing is bad, mate.
They were on
a terrible run of form before they signed Frank Onyeka in particular.
And they were still on average for 116 points at the time they were having the wobble. They had such a blistering start. They picked up 58 points at the halfway mark, It was quite extraordinary. You naturally would have expected some sort of drop-off. And the drop-off, what was it, 4 wins in 13? But how many draws was there? 4 draws in there? It's not bad in the Championship. It's a brutal league. It's so
horrible.
It's so
horrible
tough.
to get out of.
Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday Cup, Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday.
And this is what I mean. All these Premier League managers that complain about the fixture list, fixture congestion, 24 teams in the Championship alone have that schedule every single week. Forget other competitions. They've got it anyway. It's unbelievable. But yeah, Coventry champions, just in case you didn't know. Ipswich are second, and the playoffs have been decided to get that final spot back into the Premier League. It will be Hull City versus Millwall and Middlesbrough versus Southampton. I think this is a bit lopsided, don't you?
Not really.
I think the 2 teams out there that, over the course of the season, I think that I've been most impressed with are Middlesbrough and Southampton.
Yeah, well, Middlesbrough's been up top 2 for 217 days.
Unbelievable.
And they found themselves finishing 5th. But the only good thing with Middlesbrough is it was one win from the last 8, so they kind of knew they were going to be in the playoffs. So the one thing about momentum and understanding, I think Hayden Hackney needs to come back. I think he's been a massive miss. So if he comes back, that'll give him a real good.
Who do you fancy?
I'm going to go with Middlesbrough. I'm always sort of got a little bit of an alliance there, an allegiance to them for the mum side of the family. So I will go with Middlesbrough. But the only thing is that I'm looking at the other playoff. I think Millwall will have too much for Hull. But fair play for Hull.
No, I agree.
To get in there. I think Millwall got too much going up front. Josh Coburn coming back from injury, Femi Aziz. They're
Such a good player. I'm going to go with Southampton.
But then Middlesbrough, Millwall in a final.
I think I'm going to go with Southampton. I think it'll be a Millwall-Southampton final, and I think Southampton. I am just thanking my lucky stars that Tom Eckhart did not take over for Southampton from the start of the season. They would have stormed that league from 4th bottom to what did they finish 4th in the end?
Yeah, 4th, 11 points.
Absolutely ridiculous what he's done. So thank goodness he didn't get more games, because you know what that would have mean. More points. So yeah, fantastic. We have got a lot more to get through, but I think it's time to bring in a bit of Triv.
Wow, the Philly fans have seen enough, by the way. They are off their seats. They're leaving after 80 minutes.
Ridiculous. Still 2-0, of course, to Tottenham Hotspur.
Spurs have been very good tonight.
But yeah, particularly in the first half, they were very good. Leon Bailey rocking a new trim as well.
Well,
really important trims are, you know.
I know,
really
mate.
important.
That's why I wonder when yours is going to get finished.
You can start yours first, and I'll get mine finished.
Mine's a week old, mate. It's looking
Week?
Yeah, looking very strong after a week.
You reckon?
Yeah, still got the fade, still looking good.
Bits of sombrero in your hair as well?
Yeah, I can't see those bits.
Yeah, they're looking all right, yeah. But we 1-0. Anyway, Adam?
Trivia.
So, trivia, we don't really know anything about the trivia, but it's Adam Bradley back in the show. Adam, hello, my friend.
There. Hello. So, you can kind of guess the theme for today's trivia.
Sombreros.
South and Central America.
Oh, hello.
So, there's been about, I think, go on, get it on. 13 different countries from South or Central America have had goal scorers in the Premier League. Okay. So I'm going to give you the country, and you're going to tell me which player from that country has scored the most goals in the Premier League.
He's been done for that, hasn't he? Do you want a spot?
No, no.
What? You don't even try and set your poo-poo in my hat. You look terrible with that.
I don't, believe me. Yeah,
At least
ready.
you've got the string in the right place. Carry on. Go on. Yep, ready.
Righty. So we'll start easy. Who wants to go first, or do you want to shout out?
We'll shout out.
Go on then.
Argentina.
Aguero.
Very good. Brazil. Yeah, this is a toughie, actually. I got to admit.
Gabriel Jesus. I can't answer again now. Your turn.
That's so
Brazilian in the Premier League stinks, doesn't it? There's no real. Come on.
Go on, one guess each, and then I'll give a clue.
Can I have to push you for an answer?
Firmino.
Oh, that's good.
Very good. With 82 goals. Roberto Firmino, 82. Oh, by the way, Sergio Aguero, 184 goals.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
what a player.
What
What
a
a player.
Okay, fastest finger first. Uruguay.
Oh, that'd be
Cavani. Who'd you go for?
Cavani.
Oh.
No.
Oh, Suarez.
Oh, no.
Suarez, of course.
That's an own goal.
69 goals for Luis Suarez.
Oh, no, that is so bad.
And a couple of chunks of Ivanovic's shoulder as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'll have a bit of that. Branislav, go on the ball.
Right. Chile.
Chile.
Sanchez.
Alexis.
Very good. Very good indeed. Okay, let's see. Mexico.
Mexico. Easy, isn't it? Do you want to have it or shall I?
Oh, God, you have it.
I don't have it.
If it's easy, I've got two in my head. I'm just trying to work out who scored more. Mexican. I want to say, for longevity, I want to say Raul Jimenez.
Right, well,
Javier Hernandez.
Well,
the little P.
didn't know if you had...
Chicarito. I'm going to say that off now, so hurt me.
Very good. Right.
God, Javier Hernandez. Yeah.
Colombia.
How many goals was it? Sorry.
Sorry. Javier Hernandez, 53 goals.
I was trying... okay, yeah.
Colombia.
Oh, Colombian. The Colombian Nightmare. Who's that? Name the Colombian Nightmare.
Colombia. There's only one striker I can think of. It can't be him. Is it a striker?
Yeah.
Colombian.
A few years ago.
Well-known striker.
Yeah, pretty well known at the time. He was banging them in the league.
Oh,
If I tell you who he played for, it might help.
No, because it can't be Falcao. Surely not.
No.
Well, give him the buzzer then. Thank you.
Played for Aston Villa.
John Duran.
No.
Is it? Oh, Pablo Angel.
Juan Pablo Angel. Very good.
You didn't really get that.
Yeah, I did.
You
Juan
can't
Pablo.
say Juan.
I didn't. I just said
That's
Pablo.
just like hedging your
Angel.
bets.
I just
That'll
literally
do.
said Pablo Angel.
44 goals for Aston Villa. Okay, Venezuela. I'll give you the clue because I'll give you the teams because it's not an easy one. Played for West Brom.
Solomon Rondon.
Very good.
I would have got that without the clue. Half a point.
Right, next player. Here, Solomon Rondon, 41 goals. Paraguay.
Roque Santa Cruz.
Rocky Santa Cruz. Very good.
Giving up.
Okay, Rocky Santa Cruz, 21. Peru.
I can't even name a Peruvian. Peruvian?
Peruvian.
Peruvian. Get
Wait,
him a
actually,
Peruvian.
I heard about. There was a story I heard on the news once saying that I thought they said that a load of Whovians were trapped in a church.
What's who?
Whovians are Doctor Who fans.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, why have they trapped Doctor... Peruvians, I just heard of. Anyway, so Peru...
He's from Canada, isn't he? It's not him.
Peru, Newcastle United, Aston Villa, West Ham, Portsmouth, Leicester. Most well known at Newcastle. And he was known as Nobby.
Nobby Solano.
Yeah, Nobby
What,
Solano.
sorry, what do you mean he's known as Nobby? That,
Norberto
Norberto
Solano.
Yeah, but
Solano.
you said Nobby.
Yeah, he was Nobby Solano.
Nobby
he was
Solano,
called.
yeah.
Shout out Nobby.
I did not know he was from Peru.
You fan of Nobby?
Peruvian.
He was a great player.
Really
he was
good player,
actually,
wasn't he?
yeah.
What was,
Really
what was
good
so good
player.
about Nobby?
Do you wear the number 4 shirt?
Yeah, he had a bit of everything. Box to
Yeah.
box,
Yeah.
he could pass, he
Had a
worked
wicked right
hard.
foot.
Strong Nobby.
He was good. Good player.
Really
Nobby.
good player.
Solano,
really good
yeah,
player.
great player.
Nobby.
Yeah, no, but
What did you like? What did Nobby bring that you enjoyed?
brought a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, lot of pace, a lot of power,
a lot. So
strength as well.
strong Nobby.
Yeah, it was strong.
Strong Nobby.
It was a good player.
Not a very big Nobby, though.
He was actually. It was quite small.
Was he
Yeah,
small
He
Nobby?
was quite small.
Pretty
Yeah.
small Nobby.
Quite small Nobby. Oh, okay.
He was quite small actually.
Was he?
Yeah, he was pocket size.
Yeah.
A pocket size.
But you could always see Nobby.
Yeah, yeah.
He was always on
He
show.
was there.
Yeah,
Was
he
he
was
always on
always, yeah.
Did he always turn up?
Well, he never went missing.
Always stood to attention when
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
asked to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you take Nobby now?
Probably past his sell by date, to be honest.
Yeah.
I used to like Nobby, but
Oh yeah. You,
It's gone off a bit.
he has a bit.
Yeah, really. Would you?
It's got a bit stale, Nobby.
Wait. I can't do it.
Costa Rica. This is a tough one, actually. Fulham and Nottingham Forest.
Stale.
Fulham.
What are you doing?
Fulham.
Stale
not
is
Brian-
ridiculous.
Brian
Oh
Ruiz?
my gosh.
Brian Ruiz.
I'm not even playing.
Very
I'm not even
good.
playing.
13 goals.
Nottingham Forest threw me off. I don't remember him playing for Forest.
2014 to 15. Yeah, 3 years at Fulham and then a year at Forest afterwards.
Wow, I didn't know that. I don't remember. I can't even picture that. Oh well, that's good to know.
So, do you want another one?
Yeah.
Go on then. Ecuador.
Oh, that's there's a striker, yeah? Actual striker.
Actually, is a striker, yeah.
Enner Valencia.
For who?
Enner Valencia.
For who?
Sorry, that was for
Ecuador.
Ecuador.
Antonio Valencia.
He said striker.
Played there.
No, he never did.
Couple games.
Never did.
Couple games.
Yeah. Enner Valencia.
West Ham.
Yeah, very
Right.
good. One or two more if you want them.
Yeah, one more. Let's see. Whoever
Go on
gets it wins the competition.
This is horrible. I've got to do this one. Guyana.
I'm not even playing. I didn't.
Played 1998 to 2000, Wimbledon. 2000-2004, Newcastle. And 2004 to 2006, Wolverhampton Wanderers.
2000, what to 2006?
2004 to 6.
No, I'm not getting that.
I'm not getting that
I
one.
only started watching football in 2006.
It's not even, it's not even like Eilbanks Blake or something.
Initials CC.
CC.
It wasn't Carlton Cole, but it wasn't far off the same similar name. Carl Court.
Carl Court.
Remember Carl Court?
No, never heard of him.
Never even heard of him.
Newcastle striker.
Good work, mate.
Never.
Played for
Good work.
Guyana.
Yeah,
No,
showing you how to do
anyway,
it, Adam. Right, that's it.
that's trivia for today.
Very good. Who won then?
Hugo
Draw.
Rodriguez on
It was
that
about a
list.
draw.
No.
Was it a draw?
It,
Was it a draw?
it was a draw
close.
in the sense that PSG Bayern Munich was a draw. Yeah.
So draw. Very good. Very, very good. Right, that leads us on to the final bit. Thank you so much to everyone who has stuck around for Game Changers. We're going to reward you with probably the best part of the show.
Yeah, just quickly before we do, Spurs have pretty much won this game. It's in the 90th minute. They've absolutely stifled. Well, I say stifled. They've absolutely bullied Villa. What a poor performance from Villa, and what a huge result for Spurs. They're staying up. Oh, they are staying up.
That's a shame because we could have had a lot of fun with that.
Unless West Ham beat Arsenal next week, and then it all changes. But I can't see that happening.
A draw, maybe?
I can't see that happening.
Where is it at the Emirates?
No, it's at their place.
That doesn't really make a difference, does it, to be honest?
Yeah, last two results 6-0 and 5-0, 5-2,
What was that
6-0.
last season? Oh, no, one was this season, one was last season.
Yeah.
When did you lose to them?
Was
that ages ago?
No, we lost them both at the Emirates twice last season. Like last season and season before.
Oh, jeez.
We don't win our home against West Ham, but we time to beat them away.
Oh, so good omens for the Arsenal. We'll find out, of course, what happens next week on Game Changers. But for this week, hit it, Mr. Adam Bradley, DJ Bradders.
I just don't know how I'm gonna deal with you. I just don't know.
Gloria Estefan. Oh yes, Dr. B. Yes, great music. This is proper music.
Proper music, yeah. Al Cinco de Mayo, DJ Bradders. You want to introduce your friend to the show?
Yeah, DJ Bradders, yo, yo, yo. This one coming in like dynamite still. Welcome. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, man, all's good. How you doing? All right?
Yeah, man, keeping it wicked still. Yeah. Big. How's the track coming along?
Oh, track sounded massive. We got some fat beats. On
Yeah,
at the moment,
big beats in it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, featuring like Nobby Solano on the track.
Yeah, Nobby showed up a lot that day. Yeah,
big track.
day in the studio. That.
Yeah,
man.
big,
Yeah.
big day in
Wicked,
the
like
studio with
the
Dobby,
wicked,
brilliant.
like Jungle is massive.
Wicked.
What is going on?
What is going
Oh,
on?
you had,
Why have
you,
you-
no, you got to be there. You had to be
You
there.
had to
man.
be there.
Oh, yeah,
Were
man.
you there?
Yeah, it was.
So it was you, DJ Bradders and Nobby.
No, it was just me and DJ Bradders.
Yeah.
Well, he said there was a lot of Nobby going on.
Yeah, it wasn't. No one. Yeah, just chatting.
Was Nobby there?
It can be there. He wasn't there this time.
Don't know. Won't you help me, Doctor?
Anyway, track of the week.
Yeah. Anyway.
So DJ
anyway.
Bradders, you filthy pigs. What's the feature today? I wonder what it is with all these sombreros and South American music.
Well, a couple of days' time, it's El Cinco de Mayo, which, of course, was the Mexican freedom from they fought the French invaders off and they won. So they celebrate on the 5th of May, which is in a couple of days' time. So, thought anything South American, Central American, bit of Latin America.
Yeah, lovely. Shall I go first?
Yeah.
Right, so I always go. I don't know why I ask on track of the week. I'll always go first, won't I? And you go second because yours is probably a little bit more effort than mine. Oh, look at that overview. So yeah.
That's the DJ Brad's new track.
DJ Brad, yeah, a little feature there. Drop on straight hot.
Yeah, I'll play a little bit more next week.
Yeah, a little bit. Half a second each week. Come on. Anyway, so track of the week, of course, is South American inspired. Now, I thought to myself, when you think of South American, when you think of that type of music, you want to almost get dancing, don't you? You want to throw some shapes, and you also want to shake your hips. Now, if we're talking about shaking your hips, there is
I was about to shake my head in a minute.
Yeah, there is a certain individual in the history of music who is renowned for how unbelievable she is at dancing. This song, unfortunately, is the truth, because this woman was probably every boy's crush at some point, because her hips don't lie. Hit it, DJ Bradders. Dance like this. Go on, show the hips.
I'm not showing
Come
the
on,
hips.
come on, stand
It's
up.
your song.
No, come on.
That's your song. Oh, God.
Oh, baby, when you
We
talk
actually are live on YouTube. I'm so sorry to the people that are watching. Goodness me. Honestly, I've seen milk turn quicker.
Mate, I'm winding up everywhere.
Yeah, I know you're winding up with your hips as well. You can't move, man. Move.
Just see, baby, this is
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can see your body moving.
I can't.
Anyway, Shakira, hips don't lie. What a tune.
Yours
This
do
woman
lie.
is just amazing. She can sing, she can dance. She is just the ultimate artist. So if it's anything to do with any vibes or any South American vibes, we're going to have to bring the one and only Dance Like This.
You're right. I mean, the promo vid, you haven't improved since, have you?
Here we go. Oh, baby, when you talk like that, you make a woman go mad. To me once, and keep on beating the sides of my body. I'm on tonight, and my hips don't lie, and I'm starting to feel you, boy. Come on, let's go. Real slow. Say, baby, this is perfection. I know I'm on tonight, and my hips don't lie, and I'm starting to feel it's right. What?
Just a lot to take in, right?
You want me to?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
boy, I can see your body move.
Yeah. Great. I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest.
Oh, because of the song, right? Here we go, moving, you know, them hips.
Oh, I'm well
Snake
aware.
hips.
They're snake hips.
Yeah.
I've seen hips, mate.
I've seen a snake. Snake hips.
That might be your new nickname.
Right, Adam, cut the music. Look, Henry, take over. I'm getting emotional, sorry. I'm not really, I just...
Don't really know where to go to that.
Yeah, you can't beat that. Adam, DJ Bradders, sorry, think about the winner.
Yeah. Just a bit bamboozled about what I just saw then. I thought...
Do you want me to...
Thought being in the studio with Nobby was something else, but...
And it's game
No, it's not.
on.
It's not game on.
It's game on.
It's not game on.
It's game on. In the dying hours of the
Mate,
game, there was 5 minutes added
do
on,
not
and
lie.
it's 95-45, so there's probably not enough time to even kick off again. But Aston Villa have pulled one back. Luke Henry takes to the goal.
Yeah, Matty Cash whips a ball in, and it rises to Emwe Brendir's head, flicks it past Kinski, who's got absolutely no chance. I don't know why you're lying to our Game Changers audience. They've literally scored at the end of added time. By the time they kick this ball back, it'll be full time, and Spurs have got 3 points. Although it would be very ironic if Villa did go down the other end and score, but they physically won't have enough time. In fact, oh my God, I thought he was just going to kick it. Here we go. The referee is going to blow his whistle in literally 5, 4, 3. No, he's still playing. Why on earth is he still
Maybe
playing?
there was an injury during injury time. Maybe there was some substitutions. Maybe he's going to add just 1 more minute on.
He can't. It's not. There's.
Why? If there's
What you doing?
What is he
What you
trying to do
doing
with
here?
foot wrong?
No,
There we
Come
go.
on, Villa.
And it's game over. Full time at Villa Park, where Tottenham have not only recorded back-to-back victories, but more importantly, more vitally for Roberto De Zerbi and the Tottenham faithful, who are going crazy in the West Midlands right now. They're out of the relegation zone, and it seems Luke Henry's prediction of West Ham going down might be coming true. Very quickly, Luke Henry, your initial reaction to that, because we still have to have your wonderful track of the week.
Big win for Spurs, big defeat for Villa. That's not a good preparation for Thursday night's big game for Spurs. That is a massive 3 points. That is a huge, huge 3 points. Leeds, Chelsea and Everton, the next 3 games, tough games. Yeah, I think they'll be all right.
I think they'll be all right.
They'll be all right.
From there, the man himself, Luke Henry. Let's wrap the show up. What's your track of the week?
Yeah, super quick, South American, Central American. So I went for the more Brazilian route, and I thought we'll do a bit of current, we'll mix it with a bit of Black Eyed Peas, and you get this.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow, wow, wow.
Show us then your moves. I did. Come on.
So with my moves, I need
Do you want me
partner.
to-
No, I need a partner. Black and piece of keep it me hot. With the key, star.
Get that leg down.
Yeah, get your biting lip away from me like lava. Live like a star. Independent training man. No. Rhythmically we massage. Yeah, when it's up, it's up. Yeah. See, yes, sha. No, when we stop, we never rush, sha. The black and piece of keep it funky fresh, sha. And we won't stop until we get ya. Till we get ya saying, oh, wow, wow, wow. Ooh. Wow, wow, wow. Reminds me of the World Cup.
Yeah, it is. It's a football song.
The jam rounds up. 1, 2, 3, 4 separate times. We have mentioned by
Okay, can
every
you just-
kind.
can you just-
What?
You know, explain the song a bit.
Oh, it's just a great song.
Come
Sometimes
on.
you don't have to explain
DJ
music.
Bradders, come on.
What?
Come on. You gotta give it a bit of a sal.
Black Eyed Peas.
Is it?
Say no more.
Is it Black? It's Sergio Mendes.
Featuring the Black Eyed Peas. The Black Eyed Peas that keep it funky fresh, sha. We won't stop until we get you. How do you not know that? It's
know-
Sergio
I
Mendes
just-
featuring the Black Eyed Peas.
I just know that riff there. Oh,
Yeah, classic.
Oh.
Sometimes it's just good music, easy. If you want a bit American, you want a bit of culture, you want a bit of salsa, you want a bit of hips.
Unbelievable.
There'll be a few people doing that tonight because it's bank holiday.
Oh yeah.
I won't be. Straight to bed.
Straight to bed and back in for tomorrow morning. Absolutely. DJ Bradders, cut the music. Moment of truth. Who's won?
Well, I mean, how can
We can all give it.
how can you not love this? It just has such wonderful memories. Do you remember the Jogger Bonito?
Yes.
I mean, what it was about? That was 20 years ago.
They're playing
now.
it where? Where were you the other day?
We were just in the studio.
No. Where were you actually?
What, the Plaza de Mayor?
Yeah, that's it. No, you didn't say it like that last time.
It didn't get played in the Plaza de Mayor.
No, you're not saying it right.
The Plaza de Mayor.
Yeah, there we go.
No, but it wasn't played in the Plaza de Mayor.
Yeah, okay.
This was played somewhere else.
What, in the studio with
No.
you, DJ Bradders and Nobby?
No, we'll tell him next week.
Oh, the
I
Jogger
don't
Bonito
wanna know.
adverts. They used
Oh,
to. They
the
had the
Nike
three-a-side games. Do you remember that? And
So
that was
good.
when football was at its peak.
Yeah.
You had Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Zidane, Figo,
Oh,
Beck.
sorry,
Ronaldinho
brilliant.
doc's so good,
Yeah,
isn't
you
it?
need to watch the documentary.
It's so good.
So
Unbelievable.
good. So good.
Right, very quickly, we're running out of time. But what you got coming up this next week, Luke Henry?
Just
Can
a
you give
quiet,
words out?
quiet week, mate. Flipping shattered.
Oh, bloody steady with the language. I know
Yeah,
it's
just
late.
a quiet week at work for me. Nothing else.
Really?
Nothing else.
Yeah,
No.
you say that, then you'll bloody pop up on Sky, and then you'll be on these podcasts here. And
Oh
there
yeah, that's why I
talking
meant just a
Arsenal.
quiet week at work.
Oh, just a normal day in the office,
just
is
a
it? A
normal day,
week? Yeah, nice.
just
you,
a
very
normal day.
nice.
You? Anything nice?
Same
Oh,
as mate.
networking. I'll be in.
No, same as you. Quiet week. We're working tomorrow. I'm actually working on the White and Jordan show, the award-winning White and Jordan show.
Look at that. I was
yeah.
in bank holiday.
Yeah, bank holiday. So yeah, they needed the extra.
They need a
staff.
break.
Yeah, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, I will be on guest booking duties for TalkSport.
So you're off then?
What are you doing?
Just saying.
No, absolutely not. Work hard every single day. And then Thursday, I'm actually at Villa Park. I'm doing some fan interviews ahead of the semi-final. So
Nice.
yeah, that should be some good fun,
Oh,
especially
maybe
after
better
that
than
result. Dearie me, I might not even want to go. But anyway, Luke Henry, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
For an exhilarating 2 hours. Shout out to DJ Adam Bradley Adam and DJ Bradders. He is, of course, the real star of this show. But above all, thank you to everyone who has listened and watched Game Changers this evening. Of course, we'll be back next week on your airwaves at 7 o'clock. But don't go anywhere, because even though it's over from Game Changers this week, the show powered by TalkSport, up next on Colourful Radio is the Fresh Music Hour, so don't go anywhere. But that's it from us. We will see you next week. Good night and have a great week from Luke and I.
My skin like that, that I mean, I